Warning: the following image and/or content may be disturbing, offensive to some viewers. Viewer discretion is strongly advised. Yo, 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 man, say I was gonna do a show on I guess I was thinking about doing a show on Kendra G, but I'm scratched that, man. Say this Texas debate is wild as hell. So we finna review this right now. They live right now, man, and y'all got to check this out, man. AR. Man. Here it is,
Tonight,
man.
we are 3 weeks away from the November election.
This
And over the
Texas
next
debate
hour
wild
here,
as
we
hell,
want to help
y'all.
you get more familiar with the two men whose names you will see at the top of your ballot when you go vote. We'd like to welcome you to the Texas debate tonight. I'm Jason Whiteley from WFAA in Dallas.
Man, first of all, God dang, look at Groomer Jeffrey. No, don't give that dude no hand clap. Look at Groomer Jeffrey, man. Look at this dude, man. Like, what the hell? Dang, man. What the hell, man? Say. Then it don't make it better that they using the green screen around this dude too, man. I don't know if this dude does look like this or he does look funny. Look, he look like a made up digital character or something, bro. Look like a made up AI character or something. But did Groomer literally look like this in real life? For real, y'all. I seen this dude before. I seen this dude before. Like, man, Lord Jesus, why they chose this dude to be part of the moderation for this debate, man? But now this debate is wild as hell, man. I had to go live on this because I was looking at some of it, right? I like, hell no, I'm going live on this for real. So, all right, let's get into it, y'all.
Dallas, Fort Worth.
And I'm Gromer Jeffers from the Dallas Morning News.
Polls show the race for U.S. Senate in Texas here is a
Dang.
close one. Ted Cruz and Colin Allred both agreed to meet here in Dallas tonight to discuss
Scorpio
their
salute.
philosophies and explain how they are different if when one of them is elected to represent us in the U.S. Senate for the next 6 years.
First, the rules for this debate. Both
Nobody come about
candidates
the down
agreed
rules.
to the
Let's get to
following.
the down debate.
He's also only focused on himself. That's how
Rules for this debate. Both candidates agreed to the following.
You know,
Okay.
Texas is an incredible place. I'm the son of an immigrant who came from Cuba
Let's go, Ted
with
Cruz.
nothing, penniless. Washed dishes making 50 cents an hour, but came to Texas
Let's
to
go,
seek out the
Cruz.
American dream. And Colin Allred is the son of a single mom who became a football star. He went on to Baylor, went on to the NFL. Now he's the United States. It is incredible that both Congressman Allred and I have the great privilege of representing the people of Texas in the United States Congress. Tonight, I'm going to ask you to listen very carefully to the
Gertrude,
difference
salute.
between words and actions. Colin Allred is going to try to say an awful lot of words that sound reasonable. But what he's not going to talk
George,
about is his
salute,
own
salute.
record or my record. And I'm over and over again going to take us back to actual records, his record and my record.
Hey, well, when I seen this debate was going live right now, as y'all can see, I didn't have time to get into my uniform or nothing for y'all, man. I like, hell no, I got to do the stream right now because, like, the parts I seen on this debate, they sent up here roasting the hell out of each other. They is going in for real. But I want to show it to y'all in real time, all right? So once again, this is the U.S. Senate race. This is Ted Cruz. He's the current senator for the state of Texas. And Allred and Colin Allred is his opponent. All right, so let's get into it.
We're doing an awful lot right in the state of Texas. Colin Allred wants to change that. I want to keep Texas, Texas.
Senator, that is your time. We do want to begin the debate tonight with two big issues that are personal to
This
Texans.
dude, God,
Senator,
why
the first
he look
question is
like
for
this?
you. Texas has one of the strictest abortion bans in the United States. There's no exception for rape or for incest, as you know. In 2021, you co-sponsored a bill in Congress that included those exceptions. But a year later, when the Supreme Court overturned Roe versus Wade, you said that you agree with the Texas law that has 0 exceptions. So tonight, the question is, where do you stand on this? And we're asking for your personal opinion as a Texan and as a father.
Well, listen, abortion is an issue that many Texans.
Hey, Joy, man, I haven't gotten into none of them characters in over like 2. Matter of fact, I haven't gotten into them characters since I was part of the state gang, to be honest with you. But I don't know, I just kind of grew out of it, because that was for entertainment purposes. So I don't know. I don't know. So yeah, because like when I played them characters, right, it was for shits and giggles and all this stuff there, but but that was me back in my heyday. I kind of matured from all that now.
Many Americans care deeply about. And it's an issue that people of good faith can disagree. People are genuinely and deeply pro-life, people are genuinely and deeply pro-choice, and there are all sorts of positions in between. I agree with the United States Supreme Court that under our Constitution, the way we resolve questions like that, questions on...
Oh, real quick, now that I'm thinking about this, right? Joy, since you asking me questions, right? When you gonna pull up to your bro show again? Because you used to pull up to the show all the time. So when you gonna pull up to the show again and we can have some thought-provoking conversations? It don't have to be about our past. You know how I roll. It could be about present and future. You know what I'm saying? So we gonna pull up again. We're gonna pull up to the lounge. So we have these thought-provoking conversations. Woman.
On which we have real and genuine disagreements is at the ballot box, is voting. And that's why the state of the law now is that the legislature in Austin sets the laws in Texas. You wouldn't expect Texas's laws to be the same as California. You wouldn't expect Alabama to be the same as New York. I will say, though, in Texas, on the question of abortion, there are a lot of areas we disagree, but there's also a lot of consensus. In Texas, we overwhelmingly support that parents should be notified and have to consent before their child gets an abortion. In Texas, we overwhelmingly agree that late-term abortions in the 8th and 9th months, that's too extreme. And I'll tell you, in Texas, we overwhelmingly agree that taxpayer money shouldn't pay for abortions. Unfortunately, Congressman Allred's voting record rejects that Texas consensus. He has voted in favor of striking down Texas's law that gives parents the right to be notified and consent. He's voted in favor of striking down Texas's law and legalizing abortion up to and including the 8th and 9th month of pregnancy.
See, I had told y'all about this. I told y'all about this before, that both parties are in agreement for the horrific levels to get abortions, which is, you know what I'm saying, if it deals with rape or incest or anything like that, everybody agrees with that. But it's the Democratic Party that's up here constantly co-signing this, saying that the Republican Party is on a whole nother level on this, when they're not. Everybody's in agreement with that. Even I'm in agreement with that. But I believe, I said this before, and I say it again, that I believe they do need to be state regulations on abortions, for real. So you could stop having these hot girls, summer girls, letting these dudes go raw dog in them and getting a Plan B or abortion every single time. They need to control their bodies. If it's their body, their choice, they need to be regulated and control their body, like a grown adult. Because obviously, telling them it's not going to work, I'm just saying.
That's extreme, and it's not where the people of Texas are.
Senator, that's your time. Congressman, 90 seconds for a response.
Well, listen, it's time to finally tell the truth here. Senator Cruz just looked into a camera and lied to Texans about my position.
No, the reason why they're saying that, Gert, true, because it is some states that's not gonna allow you to get an abortion on the 8 and 9 month. It is some states that really are like that. But I'm in agreement with that state, because I mean, why would you? That's horrific. The baby is darn near born now, and you decided that you want to abort that baby. Do you know how horrific it is? You know when we was in school, right? And they showed them videos of the abortion when the fetus and stuff, they end up detaching the head from the fetus and all this stuff there. It looked horrific. Imagine that, but huge baby head where they going and cut the head off. A huge baby head that they get cutting off. They're cutting off the arms and the hands and pulling that out the mama room. That is horrific. To me, that is murder. To me. But the Democratic Party, they want that to be allowed. They're like, hey, let's go ahead and get them abortions. We don't care if it's 9 months. Let's go ahead and get them abortions. That's how ridiculous they are.
Let's be very clear. You should look into the camera and speak to Kate Cox, who's watching right now, and explain to her why you said that this law that you said is perfectly reasonable, why she was forced to leave her 2 children behind.
Man,
and
I don't
flee
know,
our state
Joy.
to get
It's
the care that she needed. Or look into the camera and talk to Amanda
Don't
Zarowski,
fact check me.
who's
I think
watching
it's
right now.
Maine and some
Explain
other
to
states. I
her
don't
why
know.
it's perfectly reasonable.
I gotta look
that
it up
because she
too.
had a complication in her pregnancy and was denied care so long that she may never be able to have children of her own. Or to the 26,000 Texas women who've been forced to give birth to their rapist child under this law that you called perfectly reasonable. It's not. This is not freedom. I trust Texas women to make their own healthcare decisions. You know, Allie and I have had 2 baby boys here in Dallas.
And see, that's where I disagree on that. Because there's some women who don't have that emotional intelligence to make a good, sound decision. They don't. So it's women out there who are psychologically incapable of making sound choices and decisions. Let's keep it real.
In the last 5 years. You're scared the entire time. You don't know what they're going to
All right,
say.
I ain't going to stop no more,
I
y'all.
can't imagine that the
I feel
doctor
like
come in, said there's a problem with the baby or a problem with Allie, but there's nothing I can do because Ted Cruz thinks he knows better. That's not who we are as Texans. When I'm in the United States Senate, we'll restore a woman's right to choose. We'll make Roe v. Wade the law of the land again. And we'll make these stories of seeing these horrific experiences going on all over our state something of the past. That's my commitment to Texans.
Congressman, thank you. Senator, you did not directly answer the question. I want to ask to you again. Do you support or oppose exceptions for rape or for incest? Again, asking as a Texan and as a father tonight.
So I want to be very clear. If you listen to Congressman Allred's answer, at no point did he make any reference to his own record. He desperately wants to hide from the fact
Now, I haven't got
that as a
Joy.
congressman, he voted to
I need to
strike
research
down
that.
Texas's parental
You
notification law.
know, if I
He
seen
voted
that,
to
I'll
strike
definitely
down
have react
Texas's
to it.
parental consent law. He voted to legalize late-term abortions, including the 8th and 9th months. He says he wants to codify Roe versus Wade, but that's not what he voted for. And I'll tell you what, tonight I suspect he's going to run away from his record on a whole lot of issues. We have a website. It's called allredfacts.com. Allredfacts.com. Every time he gives an answer, just click on allredfacts.com, and we'll show you the exact vote he cast. Now, as for what the law should be in Texas, that's a decision that will be made by the state legislature. You know, Congressman Allred is running all sorts of ads saying that I made this decision. I don't serve in the state legislature. I'm not the governor. The folks that make the laws here are the state legislature and the governor. He knows that, but he's trying to deceive the voters of Texas.
I want to jump in here because I think it's too important.
We'll give you 60 seconds.
I want to be very clear to the people of Texas. I support the protections and the restrictions under Roe. But Senator Cruz just called himself pro-life. You're not. You're not pro-life. It's not pro-life to deny women care so long that they can't have children anymore. It's not pro-life to force a victim of rape to carry their rapist's baby. It's not pro-life that our maternal mortality rate has skyrocketed up by 56%. That's not pro-life, Senator. So to every Texas woman at home and every Texas family watching this, understand that when Ted Cruz says he's pro-life, he doesn't mean yours.
Senator, I want to give you 60 seconds too.
Hey, Gertrude, I am so glad when they do not elect this woman as a president. For real, man, I'll be so happy. A matter of fact, y'all. A matter of fact, I'll be glad when these 2 weeks come to this election so we can go and get this election over with, so we can get out of this old chaotic Twilight Zone bullcrap that we've been experiencing for the past 4 or 5 months. I'm just saying, because it has been crazy. It has been insane.
I want to ask you again, why is this an issue you want to address about saying whether you support or oppose exceptions like rape or incest?
Jason, I'm curious. Why do you keep asking me that? But yet, hold on a second. I've asked Congressman Allred twice about his voting record and the fact that he voted to strike down Texas's parental notification law and parental consent law. You haven't asked him about that. That is his record. He doesn't deny it. He gives language that is disconnected from the actual voting record he has. And listen, my view, I believe in democracy. If Congressman Allred does not like the decisions that the state legislature has made, if he doesn't like the decisions the governor has made, then he is welcome to run for state legislature or run for governor. But in Congress, neither one of us have a vote. I have not voted to strike down Texas's law. Congressman Allred has. Congressman Allred has voted to tell you, a mother at home, you have no right to know if your daughter's getting an abortion. That's an extreme position. And I can tell you, the overwhelming majority of Texans do not agree with Congressman Allred's extreme position against parental rights, against the rights of a mom and dad to be with their daughter in a horrific and challenging time.
Senator, let's move on to another topic.
Let's turn to border security. Congressman, this next question is
God,
for you.
look at this. Man, I don't mean to talk about this dude, but this dude's just funny looking for real, man. And I'm telling y'all, I seen this dude in person, man. When I was on the campaign trail, almost like, how long it been almost like 3 or 4 years ago, man. When I was on the campaign trail and I was helping Jasmine Crockett, right? When she was trying to get her seat in the House of Representatives, right? we had a like one of them like political fundraiser parties that I went to and stuff, right? Me and Mrs. Urban, and it was like a kind of like a black tie event, right? So he was there. He was there. And this dude, he looked funny looking on the screen, but this dude looked funny looking in person too, man. I ain't lying, man. I don't know why this dude just looks so weird.
2018, you called Trump's proposal to expand the border wall racist. You said, my generation will be the one that tears it down. But last year, you said you supported President Biden's plan to expand the border wall. Congressman, why the change in position?
Listen, thank you for the question. This is personal for me. My family's from Brownsville. My grandfather was a customs officer there. He joined the Customs Department in 1939. That's where my mom and my aunt were born and raised and where I spent a lot of my childhood. And I know that our border communities are real places where folks are trying to raise their families and get ahead. But time and again, Senator Cruz treats our border communities like he's going on.
Real quick, I'm going to forward this border thing because the border thing is boring. Boring. Let's get to the this issue where they were set up here going in on each other, the transgender rights, all right? So I'm gonna fast forward right here to transgender rights, all right? So check this out, y'all.
Refuse to protect the integrity of women and girls' sports. The most recent ad actually came out today. Congressman, where do you stand on transgender athletes in women's sports?
Well, let's be very clear. Let's be very clear about what's happening in this campaign. This is, you don't have to be a former NFL linebacker to recognize a Hail Mary when you see one. This is a desperate, last-second attempt by Senator Cruz to distract you because he can't defend his own record. Listen, I'm a dad, I'm a Christian. Of course I don't support these ridiculous things that he's talking about. But what he wants you thinking about is kids in bathrooms, so you're not thinking about women in hospitals, because it's indefensible. It's indefensible that we have Texas women being turned away from hospitals, bleeding out in their cars, in waiting rooms, being found by their husbands.
Lionel, salute.
So all of a sudden, and this is a good one, all of a sudden, the protector of women and girls is going to be Senator Cruz, who thinks it's perfectly reasonable that if a girl is raped by a relative of hers, a victim of incest, that she should be forced to carry that child to term and give birth to it. You think that's perfectly reasonable, but now you're going to...
Bro, nobody said it. Everybody is in agreement that that's extreme. And yes, she should have the right to choose in that situation. But that's what the left do every single time. They do this same play. All of them do this. Kamala, all of them do the same exact play. And I chose an ugly look for this dude too as well, too. Like, damn. But all of them are in agreement with that. Like, man, if it's that situation, yeah, they should have the right to choose. What we're pushing back on is for the simple fact that these girls need to close their legs and calm it down. And they shouldn't have an out every single time. Like I keep reiterating over and over again. If you say that it's your body, your choice, then you need to protect your body. Since it's your choice to do that. Don't allow men to sit up here constantly nutting up in you and you end up getting pregnant and your way out is either a plan B or abortion every single time. No. You need to be held accountable for that. That's the only way you're going to stop is for you to go on, get pregnant, and carry that baby to term. And that way you'll slow your fast tail down. And that's facts. I'm just saying. Stop letting these dudes do that. Stop allowing these dudes to do that.
You're going to set yourself up as a protector of women and girls? It's laughable. And listen, he's trying to distract you because what can he run on? I've never seen somebody who runs for office on what he hasn't done. He's been one of the least productive senators in the entire country. You know that. I talk to Texans all the time who say, I can't think of anything Ted Cruz has done to help me in my life. When I'm your senator, I'll keep focused on the issues that matter to you, on lowering your costs, on securing the border, on restoring a woman's right to choose. That's what I'll be focused on.
Senator Cruz, you have 90 seconds to respond.
Well, it was striking once again in that answer. He said not a word about his own record. I have to admit, the beginning of it reminded me of Kamala Harris in her debates, answering everything. Look, I was born in the middle class. It's some lines that sound nice that ignore his record. Let's just talk about his voting record. Again, you can go to allredfacts.com. You can see the actual votes. 4 times he has come out for men playing in women's sports, for boys playing in girls' sports. He is a co-sponsor, and he voted for a law called the Equality Act. The Equality Act mandated that boys be able to go in girls' bathrooms, in their locker rooms, and their changing rooms. He voted for it. That is his record. Number 2, there was a bill. It was a very simple bill. It was narrowly defined. It was protecting women and girls' sports. He voted no. The only issue on that bill was whether biological boys should compete against our daughters. That's not fair. Congressman Allred was an NFL linebacker. It is not fair for a man to compete against women. The 3rd time he signed on to something called the Transgender Bill of Rights. Transgender Bill of Rights explicitly, and he co-sponsored it, mandated that boys compete against girls' sports. And just 2 weeks ago, Congressman Allred joined 100 radical Democrats in demanding that our military allow drag shows on military bases, pay for soldiers to have sex changes using taxpayer money, and pay for children to be sterilized and have sex changes on military bases. Again, that's extreme. That's not Texas,
Senator,
but that is his voting record.
Senator, that's your time.
Yeah.
Congressman,
Well, thank you.
there's a lot to respond to there. Well, you have 60 seconds.
I mean, it's a lot. And I stand here as a proxy for millions of Texans who are sick and tired of
Whenever you hear them use the word proxy, you know they finna go ahead and say some bullshit.
That's bullshit.
But go ahead.
of this act. You know, when Ted Cruz starts talking about team sports, you got to watch out because the only position he ever played was left out. And I'm not trying to be mean, Senator, but just sit this one out, please. Listen, I don't support boys playing girls' sports. I don't.
Why'd you vote for
No,
it?
stop.
Why did you vote for it?
Let me speak. What I think is that folks should not be discriminated against. And what Senator Cruz should try to explain to
Listen to what he said. He said that he believed that folks should not be discriminated against. Isn't that the same thing as co-signing for girls to play sports with boys? Isn't that the same thing? Isn't that not the same thing with what the feminist movement is talking about? Isn't that not the same thing with what the LGBTQ community is saying as well too? You know what? I'm gonna be radical on this, all right? I'm gonna be radical on this. I'm gonna say that I agree with Colin on this one. I do. I agree with him on this one. I think that girls should play men's sports with men. I think men should play girls sports with girls. I do. Here's my reason for this. The only way they're going to shut the hell up on this issue, right, is for them to allow it to happen, right, and allow the same rules apply. Don't be getting these little borderline rules like, oh, she's a girl, you can't tackle her hard. No, the same rules apply in the sports. If they want to play football, let them play football. Let them get on that line. Let them get the wind knocked the hell out of them. Let it happen. Because that's the only way they're going to learn. Matter of fact, this past Sunday, right, with the Cowboys game, right, a player ended up getting his leg broke. It was a freak injury. And this dude ended up getting his leg broke by hitting his leg on another player. And his leg fractured. And it was a bizarre injury. Y'all need to check it out. Go on YouTube and search it. Detroit Lion player injury from the Cowboys game. You're going to see how crazy and freaky his injury was. But I say let them. Let women play football. Let them get the hell tackle out of them. Let them play baseball. And when she tried to slide to that first baseman, they knocked the hell out of her. Let them. Because that's what men do to men all the time. Or you get a 100-mile-an-hour ball thrown at either your head or your arm or your stomach. Let it happen. Let it happen. Let women compete in mixed martial arts and UFC. Let them. Let them. Let them do that. Let them compete with men or cross-gender boxing. Let them. Let them. Because that's the only way they're going to stop this issue for it to happen. See, it's to me, y'all, it's like the equivalent of a person being a parent, right? When you tell your children not to touch that stove, and you give them the reason why you should have touched that stove, but yet they still curious to want to touch that stove. And guess what? Eventually, they end up being hard-headed and touching that stove. And guess what end up happening to them? They end up getting burnt. They start crying. What's wrong with you? I touched the stove. Did I not tell you not to touch that stove? Yes. Did you learn your lesson? Yes. I think it need to be the same exact way. Let them. Absolutely let them. Because that's the only way they're going to learn. Let them. Let them get burnt. And so we don't want to hear no excuses. We don't want to hear no debating, no excuses, none of that, because this is what y'all wanted, right? So let it happen. That's what I'm saying. So let them women work on those labor jobs and stuff too. Let them do that. Them hard working labor jobs and stuff where you have to use a jackhammer and all the stuff there, steel mills and all the stuff they're working on. Let them do that. Let them. No. Let them do that. That's the only way they're going to shut the hell up about this, for them to actually do it themselves.
To you is why he thinks they should. But ultimately, what he's trying to do is a little game called distraction, to distract you from his record of doing horrific things to folks in this state, of abandoning us when we need him most, of not being there when we need him. That's what he's trying to do, and that's why he's spending so much time on this.
All right, Senator.
Romer, I'd like 60 seconds on that.
Well, I have a question for you in those 60 seconds. Parents of transgender youth are worried about the safety and well-being of their kids and say ads like these, like the ones that you are running, are dangerous. What do you say to those parents?
Look, we should protect every child. We should protect every person. I have advocated protecting the safety of every child, of every person, regardless.
Now, forget that protection, Ted. Let them do it. Let them do it. Once again, I say let them do it. Don't fight them. Don't fight the transgender parents over this. They the one who decided to allow their child to be a transgender to begin with in the first place. That child don't even know left from right, up or down, or nothing like that. That's like Dwayne Wade in their situation, Gabrielle Union's situation, where their son, where they just literally made their son into a trans. It was literally made that dude into a trans because they wanted another daughter. Let's keep it a buck. Let's keep it a buck. Because they really wanted another daughter instead of a boy. So they literally made this dude into a girl. So I say let them do the stupid stuff. Let them go ahead. Knock yourself out. Because that's the one way they're going to learn. That's the one they're going to learn. Let it be a one transgender man who's a pedophile too. Let it happen. Because that's the one way they're going to learn about this bull crap. Just let it happen. Transgender man who's a pedophile, he going to the restroom and he end up messing with either the little boys or the little girls and stuff. Let it happen. That's the only way they're going to learn.
Of race, gender, sexual orientation, sexual identity, everyone deserves to be protected against violent crime, against discrimination. But Congressman Allred hasn't said that. He hasn't voted for that. He's voted repeatedly. Look, I know a lot of y'all at home, for example, saw two biological men competing in women's boxing at the Olympics. That was wildly unfair. You know, my youngest daughter plays volleyball. It's not fair for a biological boy or man, a teenage boy, to spike the volleyball ladder, and he has voted repeatedly in favor of that. If you want to see extreme, I encourage you to read the letter Congressman Allred signed. It is on allredfacts.com. You can read it. Don't trust my description of it, read the words yourselves. You know what he argued for? Military bases should have drag shows and should be able to fly a transgender flag above it. Look, call me old-fashioned. I think the only flag that should fly above our military base should be the...
You want to know what's crazy about it is that he's not refuting it at all, y'all. Normally, if it's not the truth, they'll be like, nah, it ain't the truth, that ain't the truth. This dude is not saying nothing because he knew he did it. He knew he did. He knows it's the truth. He know he said that.
The American flag.
That's your time, Senator. Congressman, 60 seconds to respond. And if you can, clearly outline where you stand on transgender in women's sports.
Well, listen, as I said, I don't support boys playing girls' sports, but let's be clear about the Equality Act, which was a bipartisan vote in the Congress. It was endorsed.
Notice he went over the military question where Ted Cruz was saying, hey, he wants the military to have drag shows. He never addressed that because that dude wanted it to happen. And that's why I'm telling y'all about the left. These people are insane. Wow.
Endorsed by the U.S. Chamber of Commerce. For folks at home who don't know what that is, that's basically the biggest speaking organ for the business community. By the National Association of Manufacturers. This is not a radical bill. What it's saying is that folks shouldn't be discriminated against. But what Ted Cruz wants to do apparently is. But he also, again, just wants to distract you. That's what he's going to do. He's been doing it for 12 years. Folks are sick of it. I hear from you all the time about it. Let's turn the page and let's elect someone else.
And that's that dude rebuttal. Listen to his rebuttal. Listen to it. He never gave solutions or anything like that. All he's saying is, he doing this. This literally playing the victim role. Damn. Wow.
Thank you, Congressman. Senator, let's move on to January 6th. And question for you.
Don't he though,
Your own
Gertrude?
words and statements have changed since January 6, 2021. At one point, you called the insurrection a violent terrorist act, saying anyone who commits an actual act of violence should be prosecuted. President Trump has said he would consider pardoning the rioters. Would you support that? You have 90 seconds.
So, Gromer, thank you for that question. Listen, my view is clear. I think anyone who commits an act of violence should be prosecuted and should go to jail. If you assault a police officer, you should go to jail for a very long time. And by the way, that's true whether I happen to agree with your politics or disagree with your politics. I've spent 12 years fighting to defend the men and women of law enforcement. That's why I've been endorsed by the leaders of organizations, over 44,000 law enforcement officers. That's why I've been endorsed by Kim Ogg, the Democrat district attorney in Harris County. She is the twice elected Democrat, the chief law enforcement officer in Houston. She's endorsed me in this race. Why? Because she wants a senator who will stand with law enforcement, who will lock up criminals and fight to secure the border. And unfortunately, Congressman Allred's record on crime has been terrible. Congressman Allred has voted not once but twice in favor of defunding the police. Let me tell you what a disaster defunding the police had been. The defund.
Hey, man, that whole concept about defunding the police is some downright bullshit.
That's bullshit.
Damn. Lord Jesus. Who would want to vote for that? To defund the police? That is... That's like a whole nother show, y'all, that I should do solely about defunding the police. That's the most craziest bullshit I've ever heard in my life, man. And for y'all to vote for that, to defund the police, y'all full of shit.
That's bullshit.
Y'all crazy. Damn.
The police movement started in 2019. From 2019 to 2023, let me tell you what happened to the murder rate. In Houston, it went up 29%. Right here in Dallas, it went up 17%. In San Antonio, it went up 57%. And my view, you know, Congressman Allred is happy to talk about those who committed acts of violence on January 6th, but you don't hear him talking about the Antifa and Black Lives Matter riots that burned cities across this country. If you commit an act of violence, you should go to jail, and there should be no political favoritism in that regard.
Congressman, you have 90 seconds to respond.
Oh, that was really something. I have to say, you can't be for the mob on January 6th and for the officers. You can't, and it's not funny, because you're a threat to democracy.
Sure.
I was on the House floor when we went through the votes. I remember when you objected to the results in Arizona. Y'all at home might remember where you were on January 6th, what you were doing. I know where I was, and I know where he was. I remember when they told us to reach under our seats for these gas masks. I didn't know we had, because they had deployed tear gas in the rotunda. The officers locked all the doors. We barred the doors the president walks through to deliver the State of the Union with furniture that we usually use to hold paper. And I texted my wife, Allie, who was 7 months pregnant with our son, Cameron, and at home with our son, Jordan, who wasn't yet 2. Whatever happens, I love you. And I took off my suit jacket, and I was prepared to defend the House floor from the mob. At the same time, after he'd gone around the country lying about the election, after he'd been the architect of the attempt to overthrow that election, when that mob came, Senator Cruz was hiding in a supply closet. And that's okay. I don't want him to get hurt by the mob. I really don't. This election is his accountability. You cannot just be patriotic when your side wins.
Hey, I ain't trying to be funny, man, but if I was in the house, right, and the mob came out, shit, I've been doing the same thing. I've been following. Say, y'all know them those of y'all who work right, y'all know them training videos that they give us, right? Just in case if somebody were to enter into the building and it teach you what to do, it say either to run, hide, or fight. I guarantee that I'll be either running, hiding, or fighting for real. I ain't lying. Would fighting be the very last resort? Fighting would be the very last resort. Would I be hiding? Hell yeah. Sure, I'll be just like Ted Cruz. Shit, you gotta be like all the way messed up. All the way messed up. So this dude here, he said up here talking about he's hiding in the closet, and I was prepared to defend myself. Oh, I didn't, Rambo. Don't defend yourself, man. Sure, if you're capable of defending yourself, by all means defend yourself. But you can't don't talk bad on this dude if you want to hide. If you want to hide, you just want to hide. Ain't nothing wrong with hiding, man. Because this dude got a family, just like you got a family. Just like everybody who was in the house when January 6th happened, have a family. So,
For the first time in 250 years, this project of ours, this shared American project, that we did not have a peaceful transfer of power, the folks responsible have to be held accountable. That's why Liz Cheney has endorsed me, has got involved in this campaign, and is saying to Texans everywhere, do not put Ted Cruz back in a position of authority. Because he's done it once, he'll do it again.
Senator, you have 60 seconds for a rebuttal, but answer the question, would you support pardoning those convicted in the Capitol riot?
So look, I think the Biden-Harris administration has persecuted some engaged in peaceful speech, and if you are being persecuted for peaceful speech, absolutely you should be pardoned. If you engaged in violence, absolutely not, you should not be pardoned. But let me say something interesting. You know, the far left, they're so angry right now. There's so much hatred. You know, Congressman Allred just snarled at me, you're a threat to democracy. Now, let me be clear. I don't know Congressman Allred. I have no animus for him personally. But I do know his voting record. His voting record is radical and extreme. And you want to talk about threats to democracy? Let's take a vote that just happened a few weeks ago on the floor of the House, the SAVE Act. The SAVE Act provided that in order to register to vote, you got to prove you're an American citizen. Congressman Allred voted no. 11.5 million illegal immigrants have come into this country under Kamala Harris and Colin Allred's open border policies, and Congressman Allred votes no to protecting our elections and ensuring that people don't vote illegally. That is a threat to democracy.
Senator, thank you. Let's move on to another topic, gentlemen. Let's shift to foreign policy here. Congressman, you said you think there is no more practical military goal for Israel and that it can achieve in Gaza. As a U.S. Senator, though, how would you hold Hamas accountable for the worst terrorist attack in Israeli history back on October 7th of 2023? And what military approach would you like to see Israel take at this point in its war?
Yeah. Well, let's begin at the beginning. October 7th was a horrific terrorist attack by a terrorist organization in Hamas, the worst attack on the Jewish people since the Holocaust. They bear the responsibility for this war. This is a
SBK
war of
salute.
choice
Welcome, brother.
by them. And Israel has a right to defend itself, and I have always stood up for their right to defend themselves. I'm on the Foreign Affairs Committee. I've been on it for the last 6 years.
Hey, one of my moderators, one of my moderators, either you, Lino, or Scorpio, one of y'all, man. Y'all mind dropping SBK channel in the chat for me? Thank you.
And I was in Israel not long before the attack happened. I visited a kibbutz along the Gaza border called Kfar Asa. While I was there, we shared a meal, and we were also FaceTiming with a Palestinian man in Gaza City who was a father of 4, talking about strengthening ties between Palestinians and Israelis. Kfar Asa on October 7th was the site of what an Israeli general called a massacre. And I don't know what's happened to that father of 4. But I can tell you this, folks on both sides of that fence deserve to have a future, one that's free of this cycle of violence.
Thank you, Scorpio.
It's time for us to reach a negotiated settlement to bring the hostages home, to also bring the remains, unfortunately, of the ones who have died in captivity. Hamas must be held accountable, and they will. According to the Defense Minister, Yoav Gallant, they are no longer in a position to be able to pursue an October 7th style attack. But let's also be very clear. There was a vote in the United States Congress to provide aid to Israel, to provide aid to Ukraine, to Taiwan, to help with the humanitarian situation in Gaza. I voted for it. Senator Cornyn voted for it. Ted Cruz voted against it. You can't say that you are for supporting Israel and their right to defend themselves when you vote against that critical funding.
Congressman, thank you.
I have a different point of view about this, about foreign policy. All right, I believe foreign policy be applicable after when we handle all our house business. What I mean by that, in the Bible, right, it talks about having your house in order. Okay, I believe that it is messy, it is unfair, and it's very radical for our country to support other countries when we don't have our house in order. When we don't have our house in order, we got all our affairs in this country that we need to deal with. So that is so weird that we rather send funding billions of dollars to help aid another country when we got our own bullshit that we need to deal with. Well, we need aid for things that we're dealing with in this said country. That billions of dollars could have allocated towards helping getting the homeless not only off the street, but actually getting the homeless reemployed. I'm just saying, getting the homeless reemployed. That's where it could have went towards. Not only that, it could have went towards like our local workforce commission, right? Where y'all do know, by the way, y'all do know that your local workforce commission has certain programs that they will literally pay for you to go to, you know what I'm saying, to train you how to be a manager, to train you how to be a supervisor. They'll train you how to do IT stuff, all these different things and stuff that you want to do without it costing you a thing. But the thing about it, what they don't tell you is that they have made it income driven, meaning that any person who's below the median range poverty level, them the only people that qualify for this funding, which that includes the homeless, which they don't have no money at all. So they got these programs out there, but they don't tell people about that. But yet it's still, they sit up here taking our tax dollars, our money that they take out of our checks, right, every week, every 2 weeks, semi-monthly, monthly, and allocate it towards the other countries. And that's stupid. When we got our own affairs that we need to deal with. So what about getting our children educated? There are public schools right now, y'all, right now. There are public schools who are lacking teachers. Teachers are being underpaid. And they sitting up here putting up with our bullshit kids, with bullshit parents. Let's keep it real. They are. They sit up here getting underpaid and everything, dealing with that. But yet it's still, they allocated our money, our tax dollars to going to another country. That's stupid as hell. That is crazy. Then on top of that, they sitting up here talking about defunding the police. Hell, according to y'all, we barely got money to begin with in the first place. And now you want to defund the police too? Damn, that is crazy. And we got all this other stuff that's happening in our country right now. Border Patrol, they're getting underpaid. And they sit up here literally risking their life to protect our borders. That is literally their job. every single day is to protect the border. That's the reason why Trump was making it a point to build that wall to help the border patrol, so their job would be a little bit more easier. But now, these people, these left and whoever it is, right, they don't want to do that. They want to make it hard. And they want to say, hey, let's go fund Israel. Hey, let's go fund what's that other country that's in war right now? Y'all know what I'm talking about. The other country is in war with Russia right now. We simply sending all this money to them. Sitting up here literally funding they military fund. Crazy as hell. Crazy.
Thank you, Senator. Same question for you. What military approach would you like to see Israel take at this point? Multiple fronts are opened up right now.
Well, thank you, Jason. I will say this issue is one of the clearest differences between Congressman Allred.
Here's another thing, too. I just thought about this. You know what? Do y'all know that the billions and billions of dollars that they just sent to these foreign countries for this foreign policy, right? Do you know if they would had kept it in-house, kept it here, right? Do you know that they had more than enough, well more than enough, times 50, to where all of us, including our children, including our grandchildren, could automatically have a retirement package. We could literally retire and not work for the rest of our lives. All of us. But guess what? They ain't going to do that. They're not going to do that. Because they want us to be slaves in this country. Hell yeah, you right, Lionel. Reparations and everything. Reparations could be passed around 5 times fold. But guess what? They ain't going to do it because they want us to be slaves in this country. They do. They only want the wealthy to survive. And that's it. And they want us to be working robots. With this little weak-ass 401k package that they give us. With this whole weak-ass Social Security checks that they give us when we turn up age. Man, all of that is some bullshit.
That's bullshit.
His record and my record. When I was elected 12 years ago, I resolved then to be the leading defender of Israel in the United States Senate. And I
pay for our health care for free, literally for free.
And fight to support Israel. I am proud to stand with Israel. Our position should be that America stands unshakably with Israel. When President Trump was president, I urged him to move our embassy to Jerusalem. He did, and I was there the day we opened the embassy in Jerusalem. And I've never seen such celebration. When President Trump was president, I urged him to pull out of the disastrous Iran nuclear deal. He did, and it was the single most important national security decision of his entire presidency. Congressman Allred has consistently lined up against Israel. At the beginning of the Biden-Harris administration, he urged them to send money to Gaza, even though it would go to Hamas. He has supported Kamala Harris and Joe Biden flowing over $100 billion to Iran. 90% of the funding for Hamas and Hezbollah comes from Iran. I'll tell you, Congressman Allred invited a radical imam here in Dallas who calls Zionists monsters and has compared them to Nazis.
That literally did happen in here in Dallas, by the way. He's speaking facts on that one for real. That literally happened. And these assholes right here, they don't care, bro. Because all they care is about themselves. And that's why I keep telling y'all over and over again about these people. All they care about is themselves, man. I ain't lying.
Nazis. Congressman Allred calls them the very best of North Texas. I don't support those who engage in anti-Semitic actions, and I will tell you the funders of the anti-Semitic protest on college campuses are among Congressman Allred's biggest supporters. We need clarity. We need to draw a line, and as for me and my home, we will stand with Israel.
Senator, thank you for that. Congressman, you have 60 seconds.
We have to talk about this because there was a vote. It's not about talking. It's about action. We had a vote in the United States Congress to provide military funding and aid to Israel, to Ukraine, to Taiwan, to address the humanitarian issues in Gaza and around the world. Part of that aid package was $5 billion in the...
Hey, Speak, when I think about that, right, when you say they always kissing Israel ass, right, when I think about that, bro, I'm just wondering, are we in debt to China? Are we really in debt to Israel? Because this thing been going on Even since when we was little, bro. When all of us was young, they still been doing the same as that thing with Israel. So I'm wondering, is it really China that we're in debt to, or is it really Israel? Because it's weird, because it just seems like that Israel, these alleged Jewish people over there, owns this country for real. That's how the way it seems like. And it seems like wherever they say goes. Guess who made up that whole language about anti-Semitism, whatever they call that bullshit? Them, they did that. So people won't talk about them. Talk about them in their bullshit and their racist ass. They did that. They did it. So I'm wondering, is it Israel who really owned this land versus China? Because they said allegedly we is in debt with China. If that be the case, why are we not getting all this smoke for China? Why China ever put up and say, shit, shut up, America, we own y'all bitches? Why you don't hear them saying that? I don't know. It's weird.
The interceptors that were used in the Iron Dome to prevent the Iranian rockets that just rained down on Israel a couple of weeks ago, that happened in spite of Senator Cruz. It was a very illuminating vote because the extremists were the ones who voted against it. The far left voted against it. The far right voted against it. I think there was only 18 senators who voted against it. And Ted Cruz was one of them. So you can't tell me that you support Israel when the rubber meets the road and you're not there. But let's also be very clear. We have to find a negotiated diplomatic settlement to many of these issues. And that is what I'm going to try and contribute to when I'm in the United States Senate.
So I need 60 seconds to respond to that charge there. Now,
did you vote for it?
Well, let's actually get into it.
You voted against it.
So Congressman Allred is right that there was a bill that was on the floor of the Senate, and I opposed that bill. Why? Because I said...
Gertrude, that is a great question. You know what? I'm going to post it on the screen. Normally I don't on these shows, but I'm posting it on the screen. Gertrude asks, why do the wealthiest politicians ask for donations from poor people? That is a very valid question. When they already have the funds to do that. Why do they do that? A matter of fact, I'm going to add one to that. Normally, the wealthiest politicians do that. These celebrities do it. They be up here asking for donations. Celebrities be doing that. These actors and all of them, they be doing the same as that thing. Oprah did it when that laser hit Hawaii. Well, who was it? Oprah and The Rock sit up here asking for donations. Like, what the hell? Asking us, yo, if everybody donated at least $25, we could help Hawaii. And so, like, what the hell? Aren't y'all? Oprah is a billionaire. She could have single-handedly helped Hawaii by herself. Same as The Rock and all the rest of these celebrities. Hell, all the celebrities could have band together and single-handedly help Hawaii out. But nah, that's what they did. They set up here asking us for donations. Like Umar Johnson, donations, gifts. Fuck y'all. Golly.
At the time that Joe Biden and Kamala Harris are going to flow money to Gaza and give it to Hamas, but they're going to freeze weapons to Israel. That's exactly what they did. And after that, the House of Representatives took up a bill to provide emergency weapons to Israel, and Congressman Allred voted no. Understand, every single time Congressman Allred, right now in this debate, he is echoing the calls of the enemies of Israel saying, ceasefire now. He claims there is nothing else to be done militarily. I'll tell you, when Israel detonated the...
Matter of fact, I'm going to stop it because I thought about something else. Y'all remember when a couple of... Well, it been almost a month now, right? It been almost a month since Rich Homie Quan had passed away, right? Been almost a month. Do y'all know that it was rappers and stuff? Was it T.I. and them? I can't remember. But they had came together. They came together and gave Rich Homie Quan parents, right? I guess it was his father, whatever it was, a $25,000 check. Now, I want y'all to hear me again on this. They came together to give Rich Homie Quan's parents or family, whatever, a $25,000 check. That's it. Nothing more, nothing less, but $25,000 that they said that they had raised to get. What y'all think about that? Now, Rich Homie Quan had all these other people that was part of his circle, rappers, singers, celebrities, hell, probably some of these politicians as well too. And you mean to tell me that man life, that man family was only worth $25,000 for y'all to do a fundraiser, and that's how you could get? That is some downright bullshit.
That's bullshit.
Pagers against Hezbollah. It was one of the most targeted and effective military actions we have ever seen. Congressman Allred is proud to be supported by J Street, the radical left organization that undermines Israel at every level. And I got to say, listen, that's dangerous. Right now, Kamala Harris and Colin Allred both want the votes of the anti-Semites on college campuses. I don't want their vote. And if they threaten Jewish students, they should be arrested. They should be prosecuted. They should be expelled.
Senator,
and if they're from another country, they should be deported.
Senator, that's your time, but let's stay right here. As you mentioned, you have been a strong advocate of Israel's right to defend itself. But the World Court has found it plausible that Israel has committed acts that violate the Genocide Convention. Do you think Israel bears any responsibility for the civilian deaths and humanitarian crisis in Gaza? You have 90 seconds.
I think there is no country on earth that fights a more humane, a more targeted, a more just war than the people of Israel. The World Court and the International Court of Justice is filled with anti-Semites. They repeatedly attack Israel over and over and over again. And I'll tell you, I've got real experience there. When I was the Solicitor General of Texas, I represented the state of Texas before the U.S. Supreme Court fighting against the...
Here we go.
So wrote to President Biden to use his executive authority to lower food prices. Since you did not sign that letter, what is your idea to bring down food prices?
Yeah. Well, listen, as I said, this is personal for me. I know exactly what it's like when the cost of anything goes up. I mean, I know what it's like to be dead broke, and to hope that something comes along so that you can get through that week. And that's why I've been so laser focused on controlling Texans' costs and lowering them everywhere I possibly can.
Oh, fuck. Oh, Lord. Jesus. I hate it when they do stuff like this. This is the same thing where Barack Obama was saying the other night, where he separate talking about, hey, y'all, you know me, I was in the hood, I was in the mean streets of Chicago, I could relate to y'all. No, the hell you cannot. The only time that this dude was broke was when this dude was in college. That's the only time he was broke. When he was in college, playing football. That's the only time. Yeah, I had to survive on them ramen noodles in between me doing my exams and my tests and stuff. But after he got out of college, that dude wasn't broke no more. He wasn't no grown adult broke. Even right now, this dude's salary, his median range salary is roughly about $100,000 a year. Probably a little bit more than that. And I'm being very generous on that. So how in the hell can this dude relate?
One of those is the child tax credit. For 6 months, it was in place, and it helped us lift millions of Texas kids out of food insecurity. You know, the North Texas Food Bank told me that they could track when the child tax credit hit folks' bank accounts because need for their services would go down. We wanted to extend that. We thought it was the right thing to do, to lift kids out of food insecurity. But Senator Cruz opposed it. When I'm in the Senate, I'll bring back the child tax credit. I'll also make sure that we cut taxes for the middle class. This has been a tough time for the middle class. We have to make sure that we're alleviating.
This dude's tripping because we still have the child tax credit right now, idiot.
Their tax burden. And I'm going to invest in a new generation of housing
and the child
to make
tax
sure
credit
that we
is
can increase our housing supply and lower the overall cost of housing. It's something that has to be a national priority. And when I'm in the Senate, it will be.
Congressman, thank you. Senator, how do you lower food prices?
Well, let me briefly address the child tax credit, because that was an integral part of the 2017 Trump tax cuts that I spent hundreds of hours working on, fighting for, and supporting, and that Congressman Allred opposed. The Trump tax cuts worked incredibly well. We saw the lowest unemployment rate in 50 years, the lowest African-American unemployment ever recorded, the lowest Hispanic unemployment ever recorded. We saw real results. Now, the Democrats...
And that was facts. That is facts in the state of Texas. That literally happened for real. We had low unemployment rates. Everybody was working, and we was singing Kumbaya. And what messed it up was COVID.
Democrats this past year, what they wanted to do with the child tax credit is they wanted to relax the work requirement for parents. They wanted parents not to have to go work. That's a mistake. We need parents to get back to work. Now, your question was about inflation and food. Listen, Kamala Harris and Colin Allred have undermined our farmers and ranchers every day. I'm proud to be endorsed by the Texas Farm Bureau to fight for the farmers and ranchers in Texas. They put bureaucratic regulations that make it harder and harder for farmers and ranchers to survive, but nothing hurts more than the cost of energy. Listen, whether it is the natural gas that goes into fertilizers that they use to farm crops, or whether it is the diesel in their tractor or the diesel in the trucks bringing food to the stores, the energy skyrocketing prices are the result of Congressman Allred and Kamala Harris's war on Texas oil and gas. Congressman Allred voted for billions of new taxes on natural gas. He also voted in favor of Joe Biden's ban on liquid natural gas new permits, and he voted in favor of Joe Biden's ban on new gas engines. Starting in 8 years, two-thirds of all cars have to be electric.
Senator, that is your time. I want to redirect the question, though, to families like yours years ago. How do you lower food prices here? Your name wasn't on that letter for the president to use executive authority. How do you do it?
There are some times where there is price gouging going on, and we have to have the agencies that are responsible for that looking into it. But it's also true that some of these supply chain issues and consumption issues from the pandemic are still ironing themselves out. But let me be very clear about something. I opposed Joe Biden's pause on LNG exports. In fact, you don't have to just believe me. You can go read the op-ed that I wrote in the Houston Chronicle opposing it, saying it was the wrong thing for Texas energy, that it was also wrong for our national security, because while we're trying to wean our European allies off Russian gas, you know what was replacing that? Texas LNG. And so I want everyone out there to understand that I will be a defender of the Texas energy economy, that I'll grow it in an all of the above way, and that what Senator Cruz is telling you is simply not true.
Senator, let's move on.
I need 60 seconds to that, because he directly responded there, and what he said was false.
Senator, we don't have time. We want to get a few more topics in here in our final minutes, here, please,
But give me 30 seconds then. Give me 30 seconds, because he illustrated
Give the man
what
30
I said
seconds.
the difference between talk and action.
Senator, we need to move on. You can address it in the next question here, sir.
Let's change topics, Senator. Both of you say you believe in protecting access to fertility treatments like in vitro fertilization. But the process effectively ended for a while in the state of Alabama after a state Supreme Court decision there. If both Democrats and Republicans agree on protecting IVF, why hasn't it happened?
So it's a great question. It's very important. I'm going to get to it in a second, because I do need to respond to what Congressman Allred just said before.
Go ahead, get it.
I said at the outset, there's a difference between words and actions. If you noticed on LNG, what Congressman Allred said is, well, I wrote an op-ed about it, and it's true. He does claim he supports LNG. But when it came time to vote, there was a vote in the House of Representatives, do you support Joe Biden's ban on new permits on LNG? And Congressman Allred voted with Joe Biden. He voted against Texas jobs. By the way, in South Texas, there's an $18 billion new LNG export terminal struck down by left-wing judges, the kind of judges Congressman Allred supports. That cost 6,000 high-paying jobs in South Texas. This is an agenda where his record, yes, his words.
Real quick, ladies and gentlemen. Appreciate y'all tuning into the stream right now. Make sure y'all hit that thumbs up, man, because it helps the channel out a whole lot. Right now, we are watching the debate between Senator Ted Cruz in Texas versus Colin Allred in Texas, all right? So make sure y'all hit that thumbs up, man. Support the channel, man. Support the stream. Let's get it.
Sound good. But his voting record, remember, his first 4 years in the House, he voted 100% with Nancy Pelosi. He didn't deviate on a single vote, which meant he voted against oil and gas and Texas jobs repeatedly. All right, IVF, incredibly important topic. I am the author of legislation that would protect IVF as a matter of federal statutory right. I joined with Alabama Senator Katie Britt to put a clear protection of IVF. I strongly support IVF. You ask why it hasn't passed? Because Democrats, very cynically, they stood up and objected. Why? Because they want to campaign on the issue, and if my legislation had passed, it would be unequivocal in federal law that IVF is protected for every American, and it is Democrats who blocked it.
Senator, that is your time. Congressman, IVF, 90 seconds to
Well, listen,
respond.
you know, if Senator Cruz is telling you something that doesn't match with what you're seeing from others, then it's probably because he's lying. I was named by an outside group the most bipartisan Texan in Congress. This is something I've worked at, not just in an election year, like he's trying to change his image in this election year. I've done it over the course of my 6 years in Congress. Let's talk about IVF, because IVF didn't need protecting until he got his way of going after it. No one was thinking that we needed to protect IVF until he was singularly responsible for pursuing, by putting in place judges at the district court level, the circuit court level, and the Supreme Court level, folks who would put at risk this miracle technology. And you know what? It's not just that. When he ran for president in 2016, he supported the Personhood Amendment. You know what that means? That would make something like IVF illegal. It would also ban certain forms of birth control. You did. Yep. You did. When you ran for president in 2016, you can look it up, folks. You don't have to believe me. Again, you've been seeing him lie to you for 12 years. Let's have a senator who doesn't. And I will always protect IVF, but it was at risk because of him.
Senator, 60 seconds for a rebuttal.
Well, let me say on IVF, you can watch the debate on the Senate floor where I tried to pass strong, clear federal legislation protecting IVF, and the Democrats stood up and objected it cynically. But I got to say, there's something Congressman Allred says that he says all the time. He says this independent group rated him the most bipartisan member of the Texas delegation. And I got to say, I found that quite odd. So I went and looked at this group, because how can someone who votes 100% with Nancy Pelosi, which is what he did his first 4 years, how can he be bipartisan? How can Colin Allred? Colin Allred voted 100% with Joe Biden and Kamala Harris their first 2 years in office. How could he be called the most bipartisan member? Then I discovered this group. Its board consists of a bunch of Democrat donors. They say on their website, we don't look at votes. We don't examine every vote. So he can vote. He votes exactly like Nancy Pelosi. But yet this group gives him camouflage.
Okay, let me
100. True or false? Your first 4 years in the House, you voted 100% with Nancy Pelosi. True or false?
Senator, that's your time. Congressman, you can
respond.
Hey, hold on. Hold up. Barb has said this right. Barb has said this, and I got to address this. And I know what she's talking about. She said, I mean, he is Cancun Cruz, right? We have reasons to not trust to care for us. Now, the reason why Barb is saying that, right, is because back in, I believe it was 2021, that's when Texas had that catastrophic winter storm, all right? The winter storm was so catastrophic in Texas that it ended up freezing up our grids, our power grids and stuff, right? And so the power grids and the freezing were a lot of us, including myself, and a lot of other Texans, we was without powers for like weeks for real. We was up in this mud having candles, man. Hey, say I was up in this mud and I had to go out there in the cold. And every food that we got, man, sure, I literally had to go and grill that mug on the barbecue for real. No lie. No lie. And it was catastrophic because, like I say, our grids went down throughout the whole state of Texas. Now, the reason why Barb is mentioning that is because throughout that whole entire time, Ted Cruz already had a trip that he was planning to go to in Cancun. And he ended up going to Cancun. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of Texans had got mad at him and gave him heat over that because he up in Cancun chilling, being warm while we set up here looking like Frosty the Snowman on them boards and stuff. So a lot of Texans had a problem with that. And I'm not going to lie. I was one of them down Texas that had a problem with it. For real. I ain't lying. Cause it was crazy. And this dude sitting up here chilling. And this dude gonna wait until the ice start thawing out a little bit for him to come back to his state to figure out what's going on in the state of Texas. Yeah, that was an absolute bullshit on this part.
That's bullshit.
It was crazy.
Because you know what?
Please, Congressman, you can respond in the
this
next
is great.
question here. We're almost out of time. You can respond in the next question here.
Let's get to it quickly. I'll go
I want to ask you
quickly,
this
Jason.
question. Kamala Harris,
Okay,
Congressman,
okay.
she wants to give $25,000 in down payment assistance to people wanting to buy their first homes. She's also proposing a $40 billion innovation fund to build more affordable houses in Texas. The question tonight, do you support those?
Okay, so let me just address the bipartisanship thing, because over 70% of the bills that I've co-sponsored over 6 years have been bipartisan. And you know what?
Hey, he sure did say that speak. He sure did. That dude Ted was on one for real, man. I ain't lying.
What? The U.S. Chamber of Commerce is another group you might have heard of, Senator Cruz. They gave me an award, the Jefferson Hamilton Award, for my bipartisanship. So that is not in question. What is in question is your recent transition to trying to be someone who wants to actually get things done instead of being a hyper-partisan. Now let me go back to housing here, because to me, the focus has to be on increasing our housing supply. We have to build more housing. We have to build more affordable housing. We have to make sure that it's connected to our communities. This has to be a focus for us and a national priority. I was in the Obama administration at the Department of Housing and Urban Development. This has been a need for us for a long time, but we haven't addressed it fully. When I'm in the Senate, we'll make sure that we move a bill to try and build a new generation of affordable housing across Texas and across the country. That will help lower costs for folks. It'll also increase the supply. We have to do it. Here in DFW, we've got 300 people a day moving here. And you know what? We also have to invest in our infrastructure. And I want to talk really quickly about that, because there's a bill to bring $35 billion to Texas over 5 years, the bipartisan infrastructure law. Mitch McConnell voted for it. I voted for it. Senator Cruz voted against it. When you're growing as fast as we are, you have to have the infrastructure to keep up with it. But he apparently didn't think that was a good idea.
Congressman, thank you. Senator, you have 90 seconds, sir.
Well, when it comes to housing, nothing is driving up housing costs as powerfully as the 11.5 million illegal immigrants that Congressman Allred and Kamala Harris have let in with their open borders, and they want to keep letting in. But let me say, when you talk about bipartisanship and record, let's compare our actual records. Congressman Allred mentioned the U.S. Chamber of Commerce, where the U.S. Chamber of Commerce has endorsed me in this race because I've been the leading champion of jobs here in Texas for 12 years. In 6 years in the House, Congressman Allred has authored and passed 3 pieces of legislation. 3. In my time in the Senate, I have authored and passed 101 different pieces of legislation, 2 different bills to create new interstates, I-14 from West Texas to East Texas, all the way to the Atlantic Ocean. That was Raphael Warnock and me, a liberal Democrat, Cruz Warnock. We passed it. That's going to produce thousands of new jobs. I-27, a new interstate that's going to run from Laredo through West Texas, through the Panhandle, all the way up to Montana. That was Cruz Lujan, Ben Ray Lujan, a Democrat from New Mexico. That passed. That's going to create thousands of jobs. I authored the legislation to expedite the permitting on 4 brand new bridges in South Texas that is going to create thousands and thousands of jobs for South Texas farmers and ranchers. The Texas Association of Business refers to my legislation expediting those bridges as the single most important legislation for Texas-Mexico trade since the U.S.-Mexico-Canada trade agreement. Congressman Allred has no record to point to.
Senator, thank you. To be clear,
Hey, I say this too. All them bridges that they putting together over here in Texas, right? I say put some women on them bridges for real. Shoot. Put women up there on them bridges and help build them infrastructures. Yeah, since y'all want to have this equality stuff, yeah, I said it. But put women out there. Y'all want to have all this equality and stuff. Y'all sitting up here co-signing President Obama and stuff, talking about us men need to be chastised and stuff because we don't want to vote for Kamala and stuff. Fine. Get your tail out there and help fix these infrastructures like these bridges and overpasses and stuff like that, where you have to work throughout scorching heat, because in Texas it gets up to about 110 in Texas. You know what I'm saying? In the summertime, get them out there. When it be cold and stuff, right? Especially on winter months, when it get to like about 20 and 10 degrees and stuff out there, you have to still work. Put them out there. I say, why not? Shoot, we for equality, right? Shoot, go on, put them out there. Put them out there. Let them deal with it.
clear, Congressman, do you support the initiatives that Kamala
Make that money.
Harris is proposing, the $25,000, the $40 billion innovation?
To South Pat Separate, talking about, I bet women will build better bridges than men. Since when in the hell, in the history of this country have a woman build any type of bridge better than men? Show me that. Rebuttal me that. Rebuttal me that. Show me anywhere in history where a woman has built any type of bridges better than men.
Yeah,
I'll wait.
To be clear, I think we have to start with the housing supply before we get into anything else.
And how do you pay for that?
Yeah. Well, listen, this is something that is going to have to be a priority for us because it is an important question. You know, how do you pay for something? Because there are certain investments that bring back more than what you put into it. When you have a housing shortage, you have to build more housing because that's driving up every other cost, and it's really hurting our young people.
Hey, Barb, being a foreman on the job is not the same as you literally doing the labor work on them bridges. Stop pushing the goalposts. Golly. Lord Jesus, stop pushing the goalposts. Stop it. Cut it out. Cut it out. Anybody could be an architect and look at infrastructure. Anybody could be an inspector because they're not getting their hands dirty. I'm talking about you literally grabbing a jackhammer, you grabbing every power tool available, and you literally doing work on that bridge. That's what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about doing no light work. I'm not talking about you. You know how it is. They have some women out there, and they just the flag person. They flag at people. That's their job. Nope. Don't give them that job. No. Give them the labor work. Give them that. Give them the real work. That's what I'm saying.
When you have an investment in infrastructure, like $35 billion that Texas is getting, that's happening because I voted for it in spite of Senator Cruz voting against it, that is something that's a smart investment that's going to help us grow our economy.
In labor.
When it comes to the CHIPS and Science Act, which was a good idea that I was a part of passing in the House, that John Cornyn was helping to pass in the United States Senate to bring back high-tech manufacturing to Texas and America. We were voting for it. Senator Cruz was voting against it. Our economic output has been in spite of him. And when I'm in the Senate, I'll make sure I'm part of these hard work that we have to do to roll up our sleeves and get things done, like addressing housing.
Congressman, thank you. It feels like the time has flown here in the studio tonight. I hope our viewers have gotten something out of this, but it's now time to make your final pitch to voters for your closing statements. Congressman Allred, you won the coin toss tonight. You chose to go first.
I close the statements, y'all. I'm going to switch the screen to one of the bigger screens so we get to one closing remarks and see what these craziness fools have to say, all right? So here you go. I'm going to switch the screen real quick. Which one is it? This one? All right. Big screen. Let's hear what they got to say.
Sure. Well, I want to thank y'all for moderating. You did an excellent job. I want to thank Senator Cruz for a spirited debate. Listen, we're all Texans. My idol, John Lewis, used to say that we might have come here on different ships, but we're in the same boat now. We're all Americans, and we're all Texans. We need a leader who will bring us together around our shared values. That's what I've tried to do in my 6 years in Congress. That's the exact opposite of what Senator Cruz has done. Whatever he says tonight, you've seen it for 12 years. He's been one of the most divisive senators in the entire country. If you don't like how things are going in Washington right now, well, you know what? He is singularly responsible for it. He has introduced this new kind of angertainment where you just get people upset and then you podcast about it and you write a book about it and you make some money on it.
Damn, he sat up here talking about us content creators. God dang. Say, hold up, man. So why do the Democratic Party have things against people who are part of the red pill manosphere community, let alone content creators? Damn. That boy said, say, look, if you're a content creator, this dude just threw shade at you. He did. He just threw shade at you. He pretty much saying that by you being a podcaster and a content creator, right, you're incompetent. That's pretty much what the dude's saying. You should be assaulted just as much as Barack Obama sitting up here trying to chastise the black dudes.
But you're not actually there when people need you, like when the lights went out, when 30 million Texans were relying on a senator to spring into action. He went to Cancun. That's who he is. If you give me the chance to be your United States Senator, I'll never abandon you. And I'm asking for your vote and for your support in this election.
Yo, right. This dude here, man, the first chance this Negro get right, the first winter storm we're going to get, and we're going to get another one because we get one every year, y'all, by the way. The one in 2021 was by far the worst that we had in a long time, but we get them. And guess what that dude going to do? Shoot, he going to flee to, knowing this Negro over here, he going to probably flee to, where he going to go? Oh, he going to go to Jamaica. That dude going to flee to Jamaica, bro. That's where he going to go. that dude gonna flee to Barbados or somewhere. You know what I'm saying?
Congressman, thank you. Senator Cruz, you get the final word tonight. You have 60 seconds.
The stakes in this election are the highest of my lifetime. Congressman Allred and Kamala Harris are both running on the same radical agenda. Congressman Allred has pledged to be the 50th vote for Chuck Schumer to end the filibuster, to end the requirement of 60 votes to pass major legislation. That means if Congressman Allred is elected, we will see the Democrats, number one, strike down every voter integrity law in the country. Number two, add D.C. and Puerto Rico as states to give them 4 new Democrat senators. Number three, grant immediate voting rights to every illegal alien in America. That would turn Texas blue, and every statewide elected official in Texas would be defeated in the next election. And number four, pack the U.S. Supreme Court. That would jeopardize our fundamental rights. I've spent 12 years fighting every single day to defend jobs and freedom and security. Congressman Allred wants to destroy what we've got in Texas because he shares Nancy Pelosi and Kamala Harris's value.
Senator,
I will fight to keep Texas.
Senator, that is your time tonight. Gentlemen, we do want to thank you for a spirited and animated.
Damn, why they keep cutting Ted Cruz off where he be cooking, man? Hey, Ted Cruz, even though you did what you did in Texas and it was kind of messed up, but that was all the way back in 2021, bro. I'm no longer mad at you about that because part of me, I get it. I understand it. Another part of me, I know it was some bullshit, but once again, that's back in 2021. We're in 2024 now. So that's long gone. I'm not mad about that anymore. Let's get this man Ted Cruz some more years up in the Senate, man. Let's give him some more years up in the one Senate, representing the state of Texas. Why not? Why the hell not? Why not? Why not?
A respectful debate tonight. We appreciate that here. But before we go, we do want to remind our viewers, it's hard to believe here too, but Election Day is coming up here shortly.
All right, so I purposely let this part play for y'all for the simple fact that I want to let y'all know as a content creator that Election Day is approaching, y'all. For those of y'all who want to go out and vote, exercise your right to vote, early voting starts October the 21st. It starts at, first day of early voting starts at October the 21st. The actual Election Day voting is November the 5th. Now, if you want to exercise your right to vote, by all means, get out there and vote. All right? I'm not going to be like Barack Obama and Sarah Perry chastise you and tell you who you should vote for. I ain't going to do that. But I'm going to encourage you, if you want to go vote, by all means, go out and vote. If you don't want to vote, it is fine. Just don't vote. I don't care. That is your right to choose. Just like the women have their right to choose their bodies. I'm just saying, to do whatever the hell they want to do with their bodies and to went up on regulating that thing. until we end up saying, hell no. You ain't gonna have the right to choose no more. It ain't gonna be no your body, no choice anymore. Shoot. Because some of these women, like I say, they fast as hell. They need somebody to help them get under control. I'm just saying. And I'm not talking about all women, because I know that's what y'all gonna say. It's all women's. It's all women's. It's all women. No, I know it's not all women, because there are women who do control themselves. There's women out there that literally do control themselves. Give them that. But there are other women out there, they just don't. I don't know what the deal is. I don't know. Weird as hell. But hold up. Let me get out of this. Let me get out to this real quick. But that is all that I got for this particular show. So once again, y'all, I'm encouraging y'all to go out and vote if that's what you want to do. If that's your heart desire, by all means, go out and vote. Don't let nobody sway you on how the way you should vote, because I already know who I'm voting for, and there ain't no way in hell somebody gonna tell me otherwise that I shouldn't vote for the person I'm gonna vote for. It is what it is. And y'all got me like all the way messed up. You think you're gonna manipulate me to vote for who you want me to vote for? I don't care if you say it's misogynist or whatever. Who the hell cares? So get y'all. Oh, it is the town hall meetings online with Kamala Charlamagne. Y'all's waiting on it too. Hold up. Say, where's it at? Wait a minute. Hold up. Well, say, where's it at? Sure, I stream this right now. Say, tell me where it's at. Hold up, where my phone at? Hold up, I'll find out. Hold up. We might have a double stream tonight, y'all. Hold up. Let me find out. Oh, it's on the Breakfast Club. Is it on that YouTube channel? Hell, yo, we finna stream this right now. Let me see. Breakfast Club. I don't see it, bro. Is it on that Breakfast Club main channel? Yeah, I don't see it. Well, I'm looking at Breakfast Club Power 105 FM. Let me see. Breakfast Club. Oh, okay. Hold up. Let me see. All right, hold up. Let me get into my chat. Hold up. Yeah, buddy. Let me get into my chat real quick. Let's go to my channel. We're gonna jump in it. I'm gonna mute myself real quick. Bam. All right. Drop the link. Click on the link. Oh, heck yeah. Oh, they did an audio of it. Okay. Damn. No more. Why they did audio? Man. Okie dokie. Hey, okay. Do y'all want to hear the audio? Wait, is it the audio or this the real show? No, this the real show. Hell yeah, let's do it. Y'all. Double stream, all right? Let's get it. We finna get it, y'all. We are fisting to get it. Let me skip this Breakfast Club bull crap. The audio, let's get to right here where they start talking about, like it's 23 seconds in. All right, we finna get it, y'all. We finna get it. All right, double stream time. Let's get it, y'all. Let's get it. Y'all want it? We got it. Only at the lounge. Let's get it, y'all. Let's see what Charlamagne, the Simp God, and Kamala Harris have to say.
With Madam Vice President Kamala Harris. How are you?
Very well, Charlamagne. How you doing?
Listen, we got 20 days and 60 minutes, so we just need to get to it.
Double
I'm
feature.
with you. Oh, it was 21 days.
How are you? Because you did just walk in. You was kind of late, so.
Well, I try to be on time. Apparently, I'm 40 seconds late. You're right.
Well, you are black, so okay. Now, now you know, one thing they've been saying, a lot of your press hits get criticized. Folks say you come off as very scripted. They say you like to stick to your talking points, and some media says you have.
That would be called discipline.
Oh, okay.
Hold up. They already shut up. We want to hear this. We want to hear the lies. Hold on. Let me switch this out real quick. Let me switch this out to my other video mode. We're gonna go here and do this mode. All right, so I could cover that Breakfast Club crap. All right, let's get it. Now I'm gonna go back to about 43 seconds. All right, let's get it, y'all.
Now, one thing they've been saying, a lot of your press hits get criticized. Folks say you come off as very scripted. They say you like to stick to your talking points, and some media says you have.
That would be called discipline.
Ooh, okay. Speak to that.
But go on.
No, I was going to say some people say you have an inability to fearlessly say who you are and what you believe. I know that's not true. But what do you say to that criticism? And is it fair for SNL to make fun of it?
Hasn't Maya Rudolph been wonderful?
Yes.
I think I have nothing but admiration for the comedy, and I think it's important to be able to laugh at yourself and each other.
But what do you say to people who say
in the spirit of obviously comedy and not belittling people as my opponent would do?
But what do you say to people who say you stay on the talking points?
I would say you're welcome.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, listen, here's the thing. I love having conversations, which is why I'm so happy to be with you this afternoon. And the reality is that there are certain things that must be repeated to ensure that I have every...
First of all, look at all of these house Negroes over there. All these house Negroes chilling. If I'm not mistaken, right, I seen some of these dudes the other night when I did that review with Barack Obama. Some of these dudes look like they was there with Barack Obama too, though. Like this dude here. Like that big dude right there. I'm just saying. Maybe these dudes are like paid actors or something. I don't know. You know how these Democrats roll.
Everyone know what I stand for and the issues that I think are at stake in this election.
Mm-hmm.
And so it requires repetition. You know, some people say that until someone has heard the same thing at least 3 times, it just doesn't stay with you. So repetition is important. And for that reason, yes, at my rallies, I say the same thing when I go to Detroit as I do in Philly, as I do wherever I am, to make sure that people hear and receive what I think are some of the most critical issues that are at stake in this election.
There has to be a high level of anxiety, too, when you have these conversations, though, because you are running for president.
I mean, you know what? There's certainly a lot of... I feel the weight of the moment and my role. I feel an extraordinary weight of responsibility right now to do everything I can. I'm telling you, Charlamagne, when I go to bed at night, I almost every night, in addition to my prayers, will ask, have I done everything I could do today?
Bro, you seen how she was lying? Anytime when the person have to look up while they doing that right, they looking up like this, they sitting up here trying to think about a narrative. They're trying to think about a false narrative. This woman ain't going to bed praying every night, thinking that she did everything possible. She ain't thinking about that. That woman sat up here sipping a glass of wine with her old simp beta male husband.
Beta!
And after they drank a couple of wine or 2 together, guess what? They ain't even praying. They're going straight to bed on them boys for real. I'm saying. I ain't even praying.
This is a margin of error race. It's tight. I'm going to win.
No, you're not.
I'm going to win. But it's tight. And, you know, what is at stake is truly profound and almost and historic, many would say. And it's about, you know, some people would say this lofty notion of supporting and preserving our democracy.
Mm-hmm.
But it is about real issues that affect people every day.
Listen to what she's saying, y'all. Every other political situation is overall about the well-being of our democracy in this country. That's what it should be about, right? But no, she's not going to make it about that. Her party is not going to make it about that. They want to make it about the bullshit. They want to make it about it being historical. They want to make it be about this alleged most important thing in the world type thing. Like if you don't vote for her, then the whole world is going to fall apart. We heard this story before.
Like whether we're going to maintain a $35 cap on insulin for our seniors, whether we're going to continue to allow Medicare to negotiate drug prices to bring them down, whether we are going to have, as my opponent would have, a formalized stop and frisk policy, for which he has said if a police department does not do it, they should be defunded or not. There is so much at stake. Whether America is going to stand on its principles around the importance of sovereignty and territorial integrity and stand with our allies.
No. I mean, it is not a lot at stake. This is just a normal election. Y'all just making it more than what it is. With all this bullshit that y'all trying to sell to people to make it so urgent and stuff like the whole world is going to end if we don't vote for your crazy tail. Well, I don't know.
Around the world, or whether we're going to admire dictators and send during the height of COVID in the pandemic COVID tests that nobody could get to the president of Russia for his personal use when black people were dying every day by the hundreds during that time.
Yeah, I feel like that one has gone over people's heads, the fact that he was sending COVID tests to Putin.
I mean, I invite your listeners, the people we know, the number of people who lost their grandparents and parents. Remember what that was like during the height of COVID? And a lot of it, people were scrambling for the resources and needed tests. And Donald Trump, during that time, secretly sent COVID tests to the president of Russia, who, by the way, do not forget, in the 2016 election, because I was a member of the Senate Intelligence Committee when we investigated it, targeted black voters in 2016 with mis and disinformation to discourage black people from voting in that election. And this is just another of the very many examples of who Donald Trump really is and the danger he presents to real people.
Sending COVID tests to Russia, that doesn't sound very America first at all. But it's not just you versus Trump, it's you versus misinformation.
Yes, that's true.
Right? And one of the biggest pieces of misinformation, one of the biggest allegations against you is that you targeted and locked up thousands of black men in San Francisco for weed. Some say you did it to boost your career. Some say you did it out of pure hate for black men. Please tell us the facts. What's the facts of that situation?
It's just simply not true. And what public defenders who are around those days will tell you, I was the most progressive prosecutor in California on marijuana cases and would not send people to jail for simple possession of weed. And as vice president, have been a champion for bringing marijuana down on the schedule. So instead of it being ranked up there with heroin, we bring it down. And my pledge is, as president, I will work on decriminalizing it because I know exactly how those laws have been used to disproportionately impact certain populations and specifically black men.
Mm-hmm. Before we get into the talkback feature and take some questions from the audience, I do want to talk to you about the legalization of weed because you're saying you want to legalize it now. What steps did the Biden administration take to get closer to that reality?
So we had to work with the DEA, and there's a certain level of bureaucracy that exists in the federal government that slows things down, but essentially to bring down how weed is classified, how marijuana is classified, to make it classified as a lesser harm. Mm-hmm. And so that took some time. There's a whole process around that, but that's the work that we have done, in addition to work that we have done writ large on criminal justice reform.
Okay. Let's take some calls. Let's go to the talkback feature.
My question for Kamala is, why are we, and I say we because my tax dollars is sending the money, why are we sending money to other countries when we desperately need it in our own country for homeless, housing, resources, for whatever? That is my determining factor if I vote for Kamala or not.
That's a valid question. That is a valid question. Let's see what Kamala the cosplayer come in, you're gonna say about this. That's very valid. Let's see what she got to say.
That's one of the reasons the America First rhetoric resonates, because nobody in America would complain about where money was going if American citizens every day need.
Look, first of all, Charlamagne, shut your ass up. Nobody is asking you, bro. The question wasn't directed towards Charlamagne Tha God. You're not a politician. Shut up. We don't care what you got to say at this point. We want to hear Kamala. Damn. Stop sipping, bro. You, golly.
Beta.
Damn.
Needs were being met. So what do you say to that?
We can do it all, and we do. So first of all, I maintain very strongly America should never pull ourselves away from our responsibility as a world leader. And that is in the best interest of our national security and each one of us as Americans and our standing in the world. That being said, we also have an obligation to America.
Barb, the question that she had asked, why is our tax dollars going into helping foreign people rather than it being allocated to help us here in the United States? And she was saying that that's a huge factor that's going to determine whether or not she's going to vote for Kamala or not.
American citizens, obviously, and people who are here to meet their everyday needs and challenges, which is why, for example, we have done the work in the last 4 years of bringing down the cost of prescription medication, whether it be $35 a month for seniors for insulin or $2,000 a year cap on prescription medication. What we have done that is...
Notice that she haven't answered the question. Notice she haven't answered the question, but what she's doing is what she always do, which is deflect and redivert. Meaning that she deflect the question and she start diverting towards things that she did as vice president. In other words, gaslighting.
Has been about putting $17 billion in our HBCUs. I am proud to be the first HBCU vice president of the United States. I intend to be the first HBCU president of the United States.
Nobody don't care about you being a HBCU president. Damn. Shit.
That's bullshit.
Nobody don't care about you being a woman president.
That's bullshit.
Damn.
Those resources are about sending them to centers of academic excellence that I know them to be. The work that I continue to do is about increasing access to capital for our small businesses. It is about increasing the opportunity for home ownership, knowing that Black people are 40% less likely to be homeowners in America. We have a history of legal...
That is not... Oh, my God. God damn it.
You're a lying sack of crap. You're a lying sack of crap. You're a lying, scheming, stinking, nasty sack of liquid crap.
Hoo-wee. That is not a Black person thing. It is not the 1970s, 80s, and 90s no more, woman. We're not being segregated as Black people anymore. That is an American problem, American issue. There are Americans who can't afford to get homes. Lord Jesus.
And procedural obstacles to that home ownership, starting with the fact nobody got 40 acres and a mule, to redlining, to issues that this Detroit area and people around the country.
Redlining is not even an issue no more either. Lord Jesus.
We know to be real. So part of my plan is that we're going to give people a $25,000 down payment assistance to get their foot in the door to buy a home for first-time home buyers.
Then, God damn it. Then she gonna accept her and say that she gonna propose to give them a $25,000 homeowner incentive. I want y'all to understand why this is an issue. The reason why this is an issue is because the median range of homes in America right now is starting off at $300,000. That's how much for a home. So that little $25,000 is like $100 that you're putting down. And you still going to have to pay over a $4,000 a month mortgage. And that's not including taxes. That's not including utilities or anything like that.
The work that I'm going to do to increase housing supply in America, knowing that that's one of the reasons that rents and housing prices are jacked up, and to work with the private sector, cut through the red tape, and work.
Hell, and this economy, Barb, that's not even the down payment at all, to be honest with you, because they want way more than that. It's some lenders, they want their down payment to be a minimum of $50,000 or higher. Depending on, it also depends on what neighborhood you're trying to live in. Most people these days, they want to live in a protected community neighborhood. Let's keep it real. Shit.
to build more housing, 3 million before the
Hey, I
end of my
know, right? Lionel, man, say. I was choosing between either do a pop the balloon reaction video or doing one of Kendra G's lives too. I was gonna react to that as well too, but we're here now, so we're gonna deal with it.
first term. And I give these examples, and there are many more which I will offer. So, for example, the work that I will do to extend the child tax credit to $6,000 for young families during the first year of their child's life. Because as you and I both know, our families all have a natural desire to parent their children well, but not always the resources.
Mm-hmm.
So by expanding the child tax credit to the first year of a child's life to $6,000, that gives that young family the ability to buy a car seat or a crib or clothes, the things that are so important during that critical phase.
How about this? How about this? Fuck the child tax credit, right? How about we allocate that to making child daycare affordable? How about that? How about that? Because those of y'all who have children, right, especially younger children, I'm talking about younger children, right? Child care is expensive as hell. So how about you allocate that little thing that you're trying to do with the tax credit, right? Fuck that. And dedicate it towards child daycare, where you can afford to put your child in daycare, where the daycare providers can afford to get some adequate teachers to teach your child basic reading, writing, and arithmetic before they even start going to school. Instead of finding these Pakishas and whoever it is that's coming off the street, don't have no degree, no nothing, and they coming into these daycares and trying to teach your child, and next thing you know, they sitting up here leaving your child in a hot ass car and dying because they mad, because they think it's not their child. Hell no, let's allocate it towards that.
Of that child's development, so that they can get on the road and actually have a chance at succeeding.
You know, you said we can do it all, but can we? Because, you know, Tupac famously said, you know, we got money for war, but can't feed the poor, right? And I saw President Obama say last week that, you know, you really shouldn't expect, you know, a president to rid the world of all of its problems. And so is it fair to tell people, hey, we can do it all? Because that's when people get disappointed, when things don't happen.
But I think President Obama is absolutely correct, but it doesn't mean we can't do anything.
That's right.
So when I talk about extending the child tax credit, when I was vice president, I pushed that we would do it during our first year. And we reduced black child poverty in America by 50%. We did that. Mm-hmm. We can do that. My plan that is about building up home ownership in the black community, we can do that. My work that has been about increasing access to capital, bringing billions more dollars into our community banks, which I've done as vice president, through cooperation and partnership with some of the big banks and tech companies to get more access to capital for our entrepreneurs, for our businesses. We've done that. So we should never sit back and say, okay, I'm not going to vote because everything hasn't been solved. I share a desire that everything should be solved, by the way. Mm-hmm. I think it is what we should all want. But that
all of this emotions that she's trying to sell to people, that's all it is. Emotions. What I feel like should happen. And this is once again one of my main arguments, one of my main talking points why I say that women should not be in positions of leadership and in power. This is exhibit A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Right here in real time. This is the reason why I say what I say. Everything she's talking about is based on, I feel that we should do this. I feel like this and I feel that, instead of using logic behind it. And Charlamagne did ask her an important question too. He like, hey, look, y'all sit up here telling the people that you could do it all right, but to be honest with you, that's very unrealistic. How do you respond to that? Well, I feel like that we're going to do this, and I feel like we're going to do that. And I feel like if they're not on the same page with us, and I feel like that, it's going to be this and that and that and that. And y'all want a woman. Lord Jesus.
That's bullshit.
Damn.
That shouldn't stand in the way of us also knowing we can participate in a process that's about improving things. And by voting in this election, you have two choices.
And that came through the worst part. And that you always be coming through the worst part of the stream when I be going in. Hey, and they'd be like, man, this damn Herbert, here he is again, man. He figured to trigger the hell out of me. So what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna be quiet and not say nothing because I know we finna get into it.
Or you don't vote. But you have two choices if you do. And it's two very different visions for our nation. One mind that is about taking us forward and progress and investing in the American people, investing in their ambitions, dealing with their challenges. And the other, Donald Trump, is about taking us backward.
The other is about fascism.
Hey, I
Why
agree
can't we
with you
just
on
say
that.
it?
And that.
Yes, we can say that.
Yeah. Reverend Solomon Kinlock Jr., I want you to meet him. He is the senior pastor of Triumph Church. Where's Reverend Kinlock?
Oh, he's here.
Come on, tell Secret Service, move out the way. It's okay. It's just the Reverend. Yeah, all right.
Hey, Reverend.
What's up, Reverend?
Madam Vice President Charlamagne,
Yes,
thank
sir.
y'all for being in Detroit tonight.
Thank you.
Recently, Madam Vice President, by one of Trump's surrogates from the black faith-based community, you've been criticized by him and others for your lack of engagement.
Hey, real quick, y'all, why do every preacher sound like they're gonna preach a sermon every single time they talk? Like, bro, this is not Sunday morning service, man. You could chill. You could be yourself. They be sitting up here at the restaurant ordering their food like they get ready to preach a sermon. Yes, sir. What would you like on the menu? I'm glad that you say that, sister, because the Lord is using me today. Is using me to choose the steak dinner, preferably through the Holy Spirit. Surfer
To the black church. Knowing that the black church is an unrivaled place in the heart of black people, what could you speak to as it relates to a future Harris administration, how you would partner with the black church to address some of the urgent needs of the black community? Dr. King talked about the fierce urgency of right now, and as a church, Triumph Church is in that place.
My man
So
prepared
first
that
of
speech.
all, that allegation, of course, is coming from the Trump team because they are full of mis and dis.
Wait a minute. How did it come from the Trump team? God damn. Wait a minute. Hold on. I got to rewind that one back because she the straight gaslight that one real quick. She like, first of all, Reverend, that ideology came from the Trump team. Hold on, man. Hold on. I'm going to rewind his whole question back so y'all can hear it again, all right?
President Charlamagne,
Yes,
thank
sir.
y'all for being in Detroit tonight.
Thank you.
Recently, Madam Vice President, by one of Trump's surrogates from the black faith-based community, you've been criticized by him and others for your lack of engagement to the black church. Knowing that the black church is an unrivaled place in the heart of black people, what could you speak to as it relates to a future Harris administration, how you would partner with the black church to address some of the urgent needs of the black community? Dr. King talked about the fierce urgency of right now, and as a church, Triumph Church is in that place.
So first of all, that allegation, of course, is coming from the Trump team because they are full of mis and disinformation because they are trying to disconnect me from the people I have worked with and that I am from. So that they can try and have some advantage in this election, because otherwise they have nothing to run on. I grew up in the black church. I grew up attending 23rd Avenue Church of God in Oakland, California.
That's church.
Yes, that is church. My pastor is Amos C. Brown of Third Baptist Church in San Francisco, California.
Yes.
I have throughout my career and as vice president and recently been actively engaged in the church and church leaders not only so we can share in fellowship, but so we can share in what we.
Oh my God. Kamala. Kamala. Kukula. Kamala the cosplaying chameleon. Wherever your name is. The church that you and your beta husband go to right now is a fucking Catholic church. Y'all don't go to no Baptist church. You may have went to a Baptist church when you was young, allegedly, but you're not attending no Catholic church right now. I mean, you're not attending no Baptist church right now. You go to a Catholic church. Damn. So how are you comparing? So you mean to tell me that you comparing a Baptist church to a Catholic church? And we know those of us who, who are religious and spiritual, we know that bullshit is bullshit. We understand that concept. But if we want to generalize it, right, we know that it's a difference between a black Baptist church versus a white Catholic church. And that's where y'all attend. Y'all want to vote for this woman. Lord Jesus.
We can do together that is about supporting the community, the strength of the community, the cohesion of the community. And it is my long-standing work and therefore my pledge going forward. I will always work closely with the church because I understand who our church leaders are and who the congregation is. We are talking about people who are driven by faith and the ability to see what is possible. By faith, where I was raised, and I know many of us were, understanding that our God is a loving God, that our faith propels us to act in a way that is about kindness and justice and mercy.
Who God? What God are you talking about? What the God?
See? That is about lifting one another up. And let's talk about the contrast here. Donald Trump and his followers spend full time trying to suggest that the measure of the strength of a leader is based on who you beat down, which is absolutely contrary to the church I know.
He sells Bibles.
Where our church and my church.
Charlamagne said, well, hey, he sell Bibles though, Kamala. Hold up. That's what he said. He said, well, he sell Bibles though, Kamala. What you got to say about that? Hold on, let me rewind it back a little bit. Damn.
Suggests that the measure of the strength of a leader is based on who you beat down, which is absolutely contrary to the church I know.
He sells Bibles, though.
Where our church and my church is about.
Hey, when did y'all see Charlamagne's face when he asked that when he said the statement though? That dude was scared as hell. He thought it was gonna be game over. He thought Kamala was gonna end the interview ASAP.
Saying true leadership, the measure of that is based on who you lift up. And right. And then he's selling $60 Bibles or tennis shoes and trying to play people as though that makes him more understanding of the black community. Come on.
Thank you, Reverend.
Thank you for the correction.
Thank you, Reverend.
And God is good.
Every day, all the time.
There you go. I had to make sure you get that right. Now, have you seen the clip?
You see how she struggled with that too? Oh boy, saying God is good. She was about to not say it at all. She's about to does not say that. She's like, oh, you're testing me. Is it all the time?
Madam Vice President, from the Griot. It's a clip that's kind of out of context, and it says that you won't do anything specifically for black people. Have you seen that? Have you?
I have not seen that.
Well, it's a clip that has you saying that you're not going to do anything specifically for black people.
Well, that's just not true. And listen, again, you said it at the beginning of this visit, Charlamagne. One of the biggest challenges that I face is mis and disinformation. Mm-hmm. And it's purposeful because it is meant to convince people that they somehow should not believe that the work that I have done has occurred and has meaning. My work from the beginning of my career through today has been about, for example, we've talked about it, whether it be on HBCUs, whether it be on healthcare, black maternal mortality. I am singularly, many
Why she keep mentioning about HBCUs, bro? Like,
would say, one of the highest level leaders in our country to bring the issue of black maternal mortality to the stage of the White House to address it. The work that I've done that has been about focusing on my knowledge and my experience and my life experience of knowing the entrepreneurship that we have in the community, the ambition, the aspirations, the dreams, and then tapping into that so that not only has my work been about ensuring that we have some of the lowest black unemployment ever in our country, but that also knowing that that should be a baseline that everybody has a job. And what we should be invested in is also building wealth in the community and intergenerational wealth. And I have many, many examples of that. But again, part of the challenge that I face is that they are trying to scare people away because they know they otherwise have nothing to run on. Ask Donald Trump what his plan is for Black America. Ask him.
I ain't gonna say it. I'm gonna let it go.
I'll tell you what it is. Look at Project 2025. Project 2025 tells
Project
you
2025.
the plan includes making police departments have stop and frisk policies. The plan
Hey, Lionel, next thing you know, she gonna be start using red pill and Mansfield talking points.
includes making it more difficult for workers to receive overtime.
Hell, she might even start quoting Kevin Samuels and Tommy Sotomayor on the boards too as talking points.
Pay. The plan includes ending the ability of Medicare to negotiate drug prices. You know what we have done? He said he would. We did, which means that that's how we brought down the cost of prescription medication. His plan includes making it more difficult for working people to get by and to destroy our democracy. You know what he says he'll do? Terminate the Constitution of the United States.
That's right.
Let me remind folks, you know what's in the Constitution of the United States? The Fourth Amendment, which protects you against unreasonable searches and seizures. The Fifth Amendment, the Sixth Amendment, the 14th Amendment. And he's going to terminate the Constitution of the United States, which in most of those amendments, one thing or another was about a movement spurred by black people to ensure that we would be equally protected under the law.
What the fuck? Why? Speak. Why do you got us watching this shit? Because this lady lying like it ain't nothing. Golly. Whew.
Come on.
Let's take a question from Talkback.
Hi, my name is Joshua Fisher, age 31 years old, African-American male from Las Vegas, Nevada. I'd like to ask Madam Vice President what laws does she have planned to make sure that there's a stop to police brutality and murders that have been going on viciously?
So again, the work that I have done through my career and then most recently even when I was in the United States Senate to help write the George Floyd Justice and Policing Act. Cory Booker and I work very closely on that.
Could you tell people why that didn't pass through? Give folks a quick civics lesson.
We couldn't get the votes in Congress. There's a clip somewhere of me fighting with a Republican senator.
If you couldn't get it passed, then why the hell are you mentioning about it?
To actually, to actually get it passed. We couldn't get it passed. But what we did when we came in office and during the time that I've been vice president is we passed an executive order. So whereas we were trying, and I have been trying to make these things national so that everyone would have to do it, an executive order by the president and our administration says that for federal law enforcement, the following things have to happen, which we for the first time put in place. No knock warrants, barring chokeholds, a national database. Now it's for federal law enforcement, but a national database for us to collect information and track police officers who have broken the law. And this is no small issue, this piece, in addition to everything else, because as we know, we've seen plenty of examples of a police officer who committed misconduct in one jurisdiction and then goes to another jurisdiction and gets hired because there's no place that's tracking their misconduct. So these are some of the things that we've done. And then, listen, I'm still going to always work on getting the George Floyd Justice and Policing Act passed. Part of the work that I'm doing as a candidate for President of the United States includes lifting up those candidates who are running either for re-election or for the first time to Congress, who are supportive of what we need to do on all of the issues we've been discussing, whether it be freedom to vote and passing the John Lewis Voting Rights Advancement Act, whether it be freedom to make decisions about your own body, whether it be the freedom to just be and be free from any brutality, including police brutality when and where it occurs.
I think a lot of the frustration comes from people who will say sometimes politicians volunteer lies because, yes, it's great to try to pass the George Floyd Policing Act, but you probably know you can't get the votes. So why push that? Why push that on people knowing you can't get the votes?
I don't subscribe to that approach, and I'm going to tell you why. It took a long time for the Voting Rights Act to get done. It took the brutality of what happened when John Lewis and all those were trying to cross the Edmund Pettus Bridge. It took a lot of work over our history to do what we have accomplished thus far, and we have to remain committed.
How do you convince Republican senators, as you just said?
Well, part of it,
senators,
part of it is that their constituents are part of this. I mean, we have plenty of folks who want this, who live in this.
No, Charlamagne, you should stay on her on that. You asked a very valid question. Y'all sitting up here saying that you're allegedly going to do this, but it doesn't happen. Knowing good and well, it's not going to happen because they go through the process. And when they go through the process, 9 times out of 10, if the other party's not with it, it's not going to happen. That's what he asked you. So why do you tell people that knowing good and well it's not going to happen? That's the question. And he should have stayed on her with that. Like, no, we're staying on this because people need a transparent response from you. We don't need this around the corner response. Tell us straight up the real reason why, so we can understand, so we can make a logical decision on this.
Districts where they serve. And this is the point. This gets back to the earlier point about you can't let anybody take you out of the game by not voting. The solutions, and maybe this is the point you're making about what President Obama said, the solutions are not going to happen just overnight. And the solutions that we all...
But they keep selling it like that. That's the issue. That's the problem. But all of them, all these politicians play the same damn game on us every single time. They promise this, they promise that. And now she's talking about, well, it's not going to happen overnight. Then why the hell are you saying it? The people would rather for you to be truthful and transparent and honest with us and tell us straight up, hey, we hear y'all concerns. We're going to send it up to the House and we're going to talk about it and we're going to vote on it. Now, whether or not it's going to get passed, I have no earthly idea. That's being transparent about it. That's being honest about it. And most of all, that is taking accountability. But yet and still, y'all want this lady to be our president and she can't even hold her own self accountable over a simple question?
All want are not going to happen in totality because of one election. But here's the thing. The things that we want and are prepared to fight for won't happen if we're not active and if we don't participate. We cannot allow circumstances to take us out the game, because then basically what we're saying is all those people who are obstructionists, who are standing in the way of change, they're winning. Because they're convincing people that it can't be done, so take yourself out, don't participate. Look at that circle. Look at that vicious circle then. So let's not fall for it.
Zeke, this is my man Zeke. He's the president and CEO of New Era Detroit. He wants to talk to you about your blackmail agenda.
Okay, good.
For the black community, or just your agenda for the black community, period. Zeke, what's up, brother?
Let's go, Zeke.
What up, though? What up, though? Madam Vice President, Charlamagne Tha God. What up, though, and welcome to Detroit.
Yes, sir.
It's good to be back.
I like to say the real Detroit because I'm up in here.
Shout out to Michigan in the building. See what brother got to say.
My name is Zeke, New Era founder and CEO. I've worked on the ground here in Detroit and in black communities all across the country for over the past 10 years, actually celebrating our 10th year this past August.
All right.
In my 10 years of organizing, we played a major role in the resurgence of pride and the change in mindset in Detroit neighborhoods across.
Not this Negro stood up here and wrote a whole speech. I can't. I just can't. I just can't with these house Negroes. Lord Jesus.
City. We're not only known for the work that we do here in Detroit, but across the country in black communities. Having worked in over 35 cities of the blackest cities in America. Saying all that to say, I'm extremely qualified to sit in front of the current vice president and which can be the next president of the United States of America. As I pose my question to you, I would first like to make it known that I don't have any emotional connections to politicians. I believe that this is one of our biggest flaws in the current political process. I view politics as a business, and America is one of the biggest corporations in the world. With that being said, I'm here on behalf of the business of the black community. With all that black Americans have been through and contribute to the success of America, I feel that there should be an in-depth investigation or evaluation of the lack of resources and current living conditions in black communities nationwide. My question to you is,
Hey, Barb, not him being ready for this opportunity since 10 years ago. Dang. This is a huge moment for him, for real, because he's representing us, gents. So let's see what you got to say. Let's see the question.
what's your stance on reparations? We all know that America became great, off the backs of free black labor. How progressive are you on making it a priority and righting America's wrongs? It's understood that you are running for president for all people of America. Asking for specifics for black communities doesn't mean don't do for others, but black Americans are heavily asked to vote Democrat in every election for over half a century with very little in return. What are your plans to address these very important issues and change that narrative?
Now, he asked a very challenging and very valid question. He did. But however, I got to critique Buddy here. That man could have saved us a whole 2 minutes with his with his thesis statement. He could have saved us a whole 2 minutes with his thesis statement. It just got right to the point. They say, hey, Kamala, I'm from Detroit. What's up with the reparations? It ended like that.
Thank you, Zeke.
I appreciate that. Thank you. And thank you for your work. So to your point, yes, I am running to be a president for all Americans. That being said, I do have clear eyes about the disparities that exist and the context in which they exist, meaning history, to your point. So my agenda, well, first of all, on the point of reparations, it has to be studied. There's no question about that. And
oh, God. Damn it. God damn. She said that it had to be studied.
That's bullshit.
Oh, fuck. Throughout my college years, right? Throughout my college years, I have studied reparations. I did research papers on the top of the reparations, all kind of stuff. Not only me, but Kamala and everybody else who went to college had did studies, surveys, and everything on reparations. So it is no longer an issue that it need to be studied and researched anymore. It is time for action. But her response is that, well, yeah, we need to just heavily research this. What the fuck?
I've been very clear about that position. In terms of my immediate plan, I will tell you a few of the following. One, as it relates to the economy, which is a lot of what you have addressed.
No,
Look,
he did not address the goddamn economy. He didn't.
That's bullshit.
He addressed reparations. His thesis statement was talking about all the work that he did for the black community, if you was paying attention. I was paying attention to it. I don't know how you missed this unless you wasn't listening. His whole thesis statement was talking about the work that he did for the black community. That's it. The main talking point is reparations, not the economy. Fuck the economy. We're talking about reparations right now. Address that.
Look, I grew up in the middle class. My mother, worked hard, raised me and my sister, and by the time I was in high school, she was able to afford our first home.
Why is that always her talking point too? I grew up with my mom, and my mom raised us in the ghetto, and we learned how to read and write in the ghetto, and we went to a Baptist church in the ghetto. Why is that always her talking point?
I know what it means for an individual and a family to have home ownership. I also know, in the context of history, nobody got 40 acres and a mule. We have a history of a number of things, including redlining. Detroit knows it well. A history of, for example, something that still exists that I've worked on to address, which is racial bias in home appraisals. And we know home ownership is, black families are 40% less likely to be homeowners than others. And that home ownership is one of the surest ways to build intergenerational wealth, right? Because when you own a home, that's when if your child says, Daddy, I want to go to college, you can say, sweetheart, don't have to take out a loan. I'll take some equity out of the house. Or if your child says, I want to start a small business, same point, right? So my plan includes making sure that for first-time home buyers, they have a $25,000 down payment assistance to just get their foot in the door, because we know folks will work hard, they'll save, and pay that monthly mortgage. Second point is to bring down the cost of housing generally, because one of the issues is we have a housing supply shortage, and so that's about working with the private sector. In terms of our small businesses, which are part of the backbone of the economy of the black community and part of the backbone of America's economy writ large. My second mother, the woman who helped raise us, was a small business owner. I know who our small business owners are, and I have convened black small business owners way before I was running for president in my official office at the White House to talk with young entrepreneurs, mostly young, about the work that they are doing that is about clean energy work, technology, as well as the traditional, whether it be a barbershop or a restaurant. One of the big issues facing black entrepreneurs and black small businesses is access to capital. Because unlike my opponent, who got handed $400 million on a silver platter and then filed bankruptcy 6 times, don't forget that, calls himself a businessman, not everybody has access to the capital, but we know in the community we do not lack for ambition, aspirations, dreams, hard work ethic. And so my work has been as vice president to increase billions of dollars into community banks. And as vice president, part of that work will also be to change the tax deduction for startup small businesses from $5,000 to $50,000. Because nobody can start a small business on $5,000. And if you don't otherwise have intergenerational wealth, how are you going to be able to do it? Second point on small business is this. I'm going to do, basically, it's a program that is about a $20,000 non-refundable loan to a certain, to basically...
Wait, what? Since when have a loan been non-refundable? If it's... Damn it. If it's non-refundable, right, then it's not called a loan. It is called a grant, you goddamn crazy woman. It's called a grant, not a loan. But she used that word loan for a reason, y'all. Because if it wasn't a loan, then she'll call it a grant. Because I know that this woman is not this stupid to use loan interchangeably with non-refundable. Oh, I'm definitely fixing to cook her ass now. I'm definitely fixing to roast her for real now. How dare you two suspend my goddamn stream?
That's bullshit.
Don't be sitting up here getting mad because I'm sitting up here cooking you tonight. Don't get upset. Don't get up in your feelings and sit up here and locate the YouTube police. YouTube. That dude Urban sit up here talking about me and my lies, about my reparations. He talking about me, YouTube. See, I want to say, it's interesting, y'all. It is very interesting that the stream got suspended right at the point where she was talking about reparations. Right at the point where she was talking about reparations, right at the point where she was getting ready to blatantly lie to us about reparations, which, as we were seeing in real time, that she don't give a damn about no reparations. She don't. She's not going to answer that dude question because she don't care. And to respond to the dude respectfully, bro, even though your question was great, even though your question challenged her, at the end of the day, the answer is hell no for reparations. The closest reparations that we're going to get is that child tax credit that she allegedly is talking about, and that $25,000 home loan assistance. That is the closest we're going to get to reparations under her watch. And she telling you this in real time. She don't want to help with child care or nothing like that because that's not her concern. She don't care. She don't care. All she care about is women reproductive rights. She care about being a spokesperson for the Divine Nine. All she care about is being a high-key feminist for feminism. That's all she care about. And then trying to blanket and cover it over, talking about she for the black people. Shit.
That's bullshit.
That woman is not for y'all. And I mean, it's stuff like this, y'all, that make people want to go and vote for Trump. Even though we know that, a lot of us know that it's things that Trump say, we know it's bullshit. We know it is.
That's bullshit.
But however, when it comes to certain policies being implemented though. We gotta keep it real. We got to give credit where credit is due. When Trump was in office and he was doing this thing, he made sure that a lot of stuff happened. What is beneficial for this country. It's called for what it is. You might not have liked it, but it is what it is. It is what it is. But here she goes sitting up here lying like ain't nothing. And continue to lie. And continue to lie. And she's gonna continue to lie all the way up into election. And we're gonna have these weird people sitting up here going vote for her, right? Respectfully, by the way, because I don't want y'all to get mad and get all up your feelings. Irby called me weird. He said he don't talk about people. I don't. I'm just addressing the behavior behind it. Weird people going to sit up here and voted for her, not because of policies, not because what's going to be implemented, not because it's going to be what's best for our said country. Y'all going to go and vote for her because she's allegedly a black woman. Y'all going to vote for her because she's some her champion women protect their rights. Allegedly. Then once when she get into office, guess what? I'm pretty sure that she's not going to all that stuff that she been selling y'all all along, especially y'all women, all that stuff she been selling y'all all along, them feelings and emotions and stuff, right? I guarantee she ain't gonna do it. She ain't gonna do it. Because once again, all this stuff had to pass through the House, and then it got passed through the Senate for it to be signed by the president. If that must stay up in the House, guess what? Guess what? It's gonna be rejected. Out of there. And so all this stuff that she's selling to y'all is going to be a lie. Like what Charlamagne was saying earlier, which that I agree with him. Where they be selling bullshit to us every single time. They do. Then expect for us to jump in line. Shoot. But I'm telling y'all, this upcoming election is going to be crazy as hell. Because it's already wild. It is. But like I always, y'all, I always encourage my viewers this is that at the end of the day, look, I'm not going to be that dude who's going to sit up here and force you to vote for a certain type of candidate. I'm not going to do that like how these weird people are doing. I'm not going to do y'all like that. I want y'all to go, if you want to go and vote, I want you to go and vote for what matters to you the most. What policy resonates to you the most that you feel like that need to be implemented and passed, if it get passed? That's what you need to vote for. Don't vote because you mad at Kamala and you're just going to vote for Trump. Don't go and vote for Kamala because go vote for Kamala or whatever, stuff like that. You know what I mean? Because you want to vote for Trump because Kamala says some weird stuff, or however the case may be, vice versa, whatever. You go out and vote for what matters to you if you want to go and vote. And if you decide to not vote it out, it is your absolute right as an American citizen to exercise your right to not vote. Don't sit up here and let people persuade you and belittle you or none of that because you don't want to go and vote. Because that's your right. Just same women have right over their bodies and stuff. You have the right to whether or not you want to vote or not. You do. That is absolutely your choice. With me personally, Urban, would I feel some type of way if you don't go vote? No, not at all. You could still pull up at the lounge. I don't have no hard feelings at all. If you go and vote for Kamala, would I have hard feelings for you? Nope, not at all. If you go and vote for Trump, would I have any hard feelings for you? Nope, not at all. You could still pull up at the lounge, for real. Because this is what we do over here. Because like I said, we don't run no dictatorship or no cult or anything like that over here at the lounge. And that's facts. When we're free, we're literally free over here at the lounge, for real. We're literally free. Free to do what you want to do, free to say what you want to say, and to give you evidence of that. You can look at my chat right now. So I was getting pushback from my chat. I don't care. I'm not going to tell them, oh, I'm going to block you. Because you don't agree with me. I ain't gonna tell them that. They could cook. I'm just saying. So I'm wanting to continue to review this, but it is what it is. So since I know that it's going to be a possibility that the stream going to get suspended if I review this, I'm gonna want to create a whole nother live, and I'm gonna probably stop at where we left off at, and we'll see from there. All right, I'm promise y'all this because I know this is getting interesting to y'all. And so we was we was about 30 minutes into this interview, right? So I'm gonna want to start it off right at the 30-minute mark, and we're gonna go from there at another later show. All right. So make sure y'all have y'all notifications set when we go live on this, all right? Because I'm gonna continue this coverage. I'm not gonna let them stop me for exercising my rights to view this content. Y'all got me like all the way messed up. But other than that, y'all, thank y'all so much for staying this long, tuning into the stream. We had a good little double feature tonight, y'all, for real. Hey, I appreciate speaking on this, suggesting this video as well too, because I was waiting on this interview to come out too. So I appreciate speaking on it, being proactive, and letting me know about it. Appreciate you, bro. Appreciate you, and I appreciate each and every last one of y'all who are here right now. Appreciate y'all. I appreciate each and every last one of y'all who are catching the replay of this as well too. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. I appreciate each and every last one of y'all who either want to thumbs up the video or even thumbs down the video. And yes, I can see when people thumbs up and thumbs down the video. I sure can. But I appreciate it a whole lot. Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you. Appreciate y'all. Appreciate y'all lower support. I thank y'all so much for that. All right. Make sure if you're able to share out this stream, make sure you share us out because it helped the channel out a whole lot. And other than that, that's it. That's all we got for tonight. Tune in for the next episode. I'm going to decide on if I'm going to either do a Kendra G review or we're going to do a review of the latest Pop the Balloon episode. So I'll let y'all know about that. And one last thing too, I do got a live schedule, y'all. Once again, I do have a live schedule for this Thursday. This Thursday live is going to be a special live. This Thursday live is going to be a special live, y'all. Meaning that I want y'all to be in attendance of this live. The reason why is because we are going to be celebrating one of my moderators' birthday, my moderator Alice. We're going to be celebrating her birthday, and your boy is going to be DJing her birthday. Yes. So make sure you have your notifications set when I go live Thursday for her birthday celebration, so we can love on her and show Alice that we support her as well too. And we got another birthday that's coming up on Halloween too. Scorpio birthday is coming up as well too, and we're gonna do the same as that thing because this is what we do in the lounge, y'all. We celebrate people in the lounge, especially loyal supporters. That's what we do over here. That's what we do. So make sure you have your notifications set when we go live. And I promise you, we're going to have a lot of good music going on where y'all can be entertained and dance to it and everything. And Miss Alice got a good music selection too, by the way, y'all. She sent me an email of her music selection. It's pretty good. And y'all going to enjoy it a whole lot. Trust me, y'all going to enjoy it a whole lot. All right? So other than that, thank y'all for tuning in. We'll see y'all again on the next episode. Peace out. Y'all have a great, great night.